Time now for your opening day starters. Leading off from Brampton, Ontario, 2023 IBL Second Team All-Star center fielder, number 9, Kenny Sejo. Batting second from Alliston, Ontario, 2023 IBL First Team All-Star, second baseman number 26, Adam Odd. Batting third from Columbus, Ohio, welcome to the Barrie Baycats, right fielder number 2, Rick Phillips. Batting cleanup from Barrie, Ontario, 2023 IBL First Team All-Star and designated hitter number 27, Ryan Rio. Batting fifth from Toronto, Ontario, left fielder, welcome back number 29, Malik Williams. Batting sixth from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, welcome to the Baycats, first baseman number 20, Nolan Mackey-Broda. Batting seventh from Coquitlam, British Columbia, 2021 IBL Rookie of the Year, third baseman number 55, Hayden Jaco. Batting eighth from Barrie, Ontario, catcher number 44, Tyler Plumpton. And batting ninth from Orangeville, Ontario, shortstop number 3, Carson Burns. Pitching tonight for your Baycats from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, 2021 IBL Second Team All-Star, right-handed pitcher number 30, Juan Benitez. Here are tonight's umpires for opening day. Calling the balls and strikes, Chubba Bay. Handling first base, Ryan Jackson, and handling second and third base, Preston Hughes. Fans, we ask that you please rise if you are able to, and kindly remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
Another season of baseball is upon us. It's the 2024 season.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our ceremonial.
Let's go down to field level for tonight's ceremonial first pitch.
She is from Barrie, Ontario, a part of Canada, the 2022 Women's World Championship. She currently plays for PWHL New York in the Professional Women's Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Jessica Eldridge.
At Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township, the 2024 season is underway. With Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Maple Leafs tonight. Manager Rob Butler, Jose Vinicio, the shortstop, bats first. Jordan Castaldo, the first baseman, is going to bat second. Justin Mara in the 3 spot. The catcher, John Salazzo, the third baseman, bats fourth. Ryan Dos Santos in center field, batting fifth. Dan Mara at second base, bats sixth. Greg Carrington, Charlie Towers, and Cabral, the DH tonight, batting ninth for the Maple Leafs.
On the mound for the Barrie Baycats starting will be Juan Benitez, one of the key pieces for the team last year in the IBL Finals run. Had a 3.91 ERA through 8 games in the 2023 regular season, a 4-3 record to show for it. In the playoffs, a little bit of a different story, 1-2 with a 4.44 ERA through 4 starts, but still quite a valuable piece for this Baycats team with 5 different pitches in his arsenal to show for it.
Juan Benitez on the mound for the Baycats tonight, and we're told we may see Frank Garces at some point during this game as well. We'll see how Juan does, but certainly on opening night, innings limits are sometimes a little bit of a concern, so we'll see how much action that Juan gets out there tonight for Josh Matlow and the Barrie Baycats.
Well, we saw Juan Benitez start the exhibition game last Saturday against the Thornhill Reds, and then Frank Garces followed him up in the second inning. Just good to see those arms back on the mound here at Vintage Throne Stadium, but I expect to see Benitez a bit of a stronger start than he had in an exhibition game against Thornhill.
And our first look at these brand new Toronto Maple Leafs uniforms, and check these out. We haven't seen these yet at Vintage Throne Stadium, but all blue, and it's a deep, almost an electric blue, kind of like the color of my blazer now that I think about it. The Leafs have had more of a navy blue that they've paired with kind of the Blue Jays baby blue over the years, but this is a different shade of blue entirely, with the Leafs lettering across the front and nice big thick numerals on the back too.
I'll tell you what, I love the Leafs script on the front of their uniforms. Usually it just said Toronto for the last couple of years. I am loving what I'm seeing from the uniforms of the Maple Leafs this year.
Josh Matlow and Rob Butler with handshakes for home plate umpire Chubba Vay tonight. Mentioned the base umpires already, I believe, but they are Preston Hughes and Ryan Jackson, and we're just about ready for baseball as Juan Benitez will take his warm-up tosses out here on the mound. And a really good-sized crowd here for opening night. Not a whole lot of room left on the benches, and folks standing along the fences as well down each baseline too. Just a beautiful night for baseball. A year ago, these teams met for the 2023 season opener, and it ended in dramatic fashion with the Leafs leading 10-6 into the bottom of the ninth. The Baycats exploded for 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth for a walk-off win, courtesy of a heroic single by Ryan Rio to drive in the winning run in the ninth inning.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the Baycats swept the Maple Leafs in the season series last year, and great chance for them to start on the right track and do that same thing again.
The Leafs were the only team that Barrie was undefeated against last season, and a little bit of poetic justice for the Baycats, I suppose, since Toronto knocked Barrie out of the 2022 postseason the previous year. And I jokingly said to Josh Matlow over the winter, I said, well, you know what you got to do now? You got to go undefeated against them in the regular season. And sure enough, that's what ended up happening as Barrie won all 6 regular season games against their Highway 400 rival. So the Leafs will be anxious to start this off with a win here. Their second game of the season. They're coming off a loss against the London Majors on Mother's Day. Jose Vinicio gives a nod and a wave to the Baycat dugout. Takes a couple of swings, and he'll step in here against Juan Benitez. Benicio, a slick middle infielder for the Leafs. And the first wind, an offering from Juan Benitez on the way. He's taking all the way, and that's a fastball for a strike.
Jose Benicio enters this season having just put a second-team IBL All-Star honor under his belt last season.
7:47, our first pitch under a partly cloudy sky. We had beautiful sunshine during batting practice. Benicio waggles the bat. Here's the pitch from Benitez. Catches the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2.
There's no better night than tonight, weather-wise, for this opening night.
Well, these games in May are just absolutely perfect. If you get a nice sunny day and then a comfortable, cool evening, it's not too hot and muggy out here yet. The bugs aren't biting. We all know that happens in about 2 or 3 weeks. So, good section of the schedule to circle and come out for some baseball. Foul back to the screen. Count is 2-2 to Jose Benicio. A couple of new faces in the lineup for the Baycats defensively. We'll give you that in just a moment. Here's the leg kick. And the 2-2 from Benitez is high and away, and the count is full. Payoff pitch on the way, and it's lined over the shortstop's head and into center field for a base hit. Carson Burns with a leaping attempt, couldn't come down with it, and the Leafs get the leadoff man aboard.
Let's give you the defense here for the Barrie Baycats. In left field, Malik Williams was expected to platoon with Noah Mackey-Broda at first base, who is starting at the 3 position. Knies Ejos in center field. Rick Phillips, a new Baycat to keep your eye on. He's in right field. On the infield, Hayden Jaco starting at third. Carson Burns, you saw him there at shortstop. Adam Odd, first-team All-Star last year. He's at second base, and the aforementioned Noah Mackey-Broda at first. Tyler Plumpton is behind the plate starting, catching Juan Benitez.
Jordan Castaldo, former Barrie Baycat, back with Toronto for another campaign, looks at a high fastball. The Baycats were the envy of the IBL last season when they rolled out their brand new uniforms with player-specific lettering on the back above the numeral, and now the Leafs have followed suit with their own. Another pitch high in the zone, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Castaldo.
The first time the Maple Leafs have done that in their franchise history. Definitely following suit from the Baycats. Obviously, those teams were jealous of the Baycats uniforms last year, and both teams with great looks starting in 2024.
Foul back to the screen. Yeah, the lettering, the color, the fit. You know, these are great uniforms and probably better than some of the Major League Baseball uniforms that we saw rolled out earlier this year.
I won't argue there.
Fans
Can't argue there.
Players have complained about the tiny lettering and just a fit that looks a little bit uncomfortable for some of the players. Runner goes and is fouled back. Benicio off with that pitch.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure the Baycats, especially wearing white tonight, are happy the pants aren't see-through.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Jordan Castaldo. Well, they said they're going to correct some of these issues. We'll see how long it takes, but
yeah, they were saying before the start of next year, 2025 at the latest.
Crowd getting behind Juan Benitez here with a 2-strike count on Castaldo. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. First strikeout of the game. Benicio off with a pitch, a delayed steal. They didn't see it. So Benicio advances 90 feet. That is a Baycat strikeout. Brought to you by IMP. And now Justin Mara will come to the plate with a man in scoring position.
Yeah, and that's heads-up base running there from Jose Benicio. I mentioned his All-Star honor last year, and he did that because he was so good on the base pass. 26 stolen bases, led the Maple Leafs.
Here's the pitch, and he gets it over, and it just misses. Ball 1. So runner at second. And here comes Justin Mara. And that one's hit a long way. Center field, and it'll drop for a base hit. They're going to hold Benicio at third. As the throw bounces to Tyler Plumpton, that would have been a close play at home plate. But the Leafs playing conservative here with runners on the corners now.
Third baseman number 17, Jonathan Salazzo.
So a hit for Justin Mara, Vinicio at third, and now here's John Salazzo with one away. Vinicio had to hold up a little bit there. I think he just hesitated a bit at second base. There's one hit almost to the exact same spot. A little bit deeper. The right fielder comes in and makes the catch. Vinicio will tag. Here's the throw. It's cut off. And it's 1-0 Leafs.
Yeah, it seemed like Rick Phillips there didn't have much shot at getting Vinicio. We know how fast he is and how deep Phillips is. He just didn't have any shot at getting him at home plate.
So it's a sacrifice fly for John Salazzo and an RBI to bring Vinicio home with the game's first run. 1-0 Toronto. 2 out for Ryan Dos Santos, the number 5 hitter. First pitch strike. Benitez from the stretch. Breaking ball, and it's a called strike. 0-2. Benitez checks the runner. Runner leads, he deals. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That strikeout brought to you by IMP North. And it gets the Baycats off the field in the top half of the first inning. 1-0 Toronto. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
First inning, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Bottom of the first inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium, and the Baycats come to bat.
This first inning brought to you by McDonald's in Barrie, home of the free fries with 5 Baycat strikeouts.
Ejo on and newcomer Ricky Phillips due to lead things off here for the Baycats in the bottom of the first. Ryan Rio, Malik Williams, and Nolan McNabrota to follow. Hayden Jaco, Tyler Plumpton, and Carson Burns round out the order for Josh Matlow's Barrie Baycats.
And Sam Green is the starting pitcher on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and one of the most relied on arms for the Leafs last year. He actually led the team in ERA, aside from Wilhenis Alvarado, who was an incredible arm for them last year.
Eats up a lot of innings, keeps the pitch count low, and that enables him to go deep into ball games, and always sees a lot of work in the postseason for the Leafs. He is a reliable horse for manager Rob Butler. Horse from the stretch, even with the bases empty, and that's a called strike. It's 0-2 to leadoff man Kenny Ejo. Green looks in, comes set. 0-2. Check swing. And he went around. Ejo not happy. Shakes his head as he heads back to the dugout. One away here in the bottom of the first inning. Adam Ott back for another season with the Baycats.
Yeah, and this guy broke out last year. He finally had his long-awaited breakout year, and expect that kind of power he showed last season in first-team IBL All-Star season.
He hit well over 300 for a good portion of the season last year. Looking to get off to another hot start here in 2024.
390 on the regular season with 6 home runs, 27 RBI.
Yeah, it didn't take him long to get going. Green with a 1-0. Odd takes it inside, and the count is 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, another part about Adam Odd that's so valuable to this Baycats team is he can play mostly anywhere on the field. Josh Mantlow's had him at second base pretty consistently, but he's very versatile.
Here's the pitch, and he hits a high fly ball to left field. Towers under it, calls for it, and takes it for the second out of the inning.
Right fielder number 2.
Speaking of Charlie Towers, I'll give you the defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs. There is Towers in left field, just made that catch over the Maple Leafs from the Hamilton Cardinals last year. Ryan Dos Santos in center field. Greg Carrington is the starting right fielder. On the infield, Jonathan Salazzo at third, Jose Vinicio at short, Dan Mara, the second baseman, with Jordan Castaldo at first. And Justin Mara is the catcher with Sam Green on the mound.
So here's Ricky Phillips for his first at-bat as a Baycat, and the first pitch is low and away. There are some new rules in the Intercounty Baseball League for the 2024 season, and we'll go through those throughout the course of the ball game, but the intention is to speed up the pace of play, similar to Major League Baseball, as they made significant changes a couple of years ago. This one hit on the ground to second. Mara's throw is in time for the out. Baycats go 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 Toronto. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
No errors, nobody left on base.
Predicting record heat this summer.
You might not know the best time to get a new air conditioner, but we do. Right now, save 20% with the Reliance Early Bird Sale.
Call on Reliance. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
The second inning of play is presented by JC Unlimited Contracting.
Top of the second inning is the Leafs 1, the Baycats nothing. Julius Hern, Ben Davy, and our Baycats TV crew here at Vintage Throne Stadium. 2024 home opener for the Maple Leafs. Dan Mara will come to the plate to lead it off here for Toronto in the second.
Dan Mara, another guy who offensively is one of the big bats for the Maple Leafs. Not necessarily power-wise, but he hit .331 last year. Very good piece of their roster, hitting in the 6th spot.
Juan Benitez threw 18 pitches in the top of the first inning and was able to hold the Leafs to just a run. And he's behind 2-0 here to Mara to lead off the second.
We saw it a lot last year with Juan Benitez, and we even saw it in the exhibition game last weekend, where Benitez has a bit of time struggling to start games. But as he cruises through the game a little bit better, he finds his stride and he starts to have a bit cleaner innings.
It'll be interesting to see what his role is here in 2024. He's been used primarily as a starter during his time here with the Baycats, but if innings are a concern, maybe Josh Matlow keeps him in sort of an opener role and piggybacks that with someone like a Frank Garces coming in later in the game. Maybe he moves to the bullpen completely, or maybe he proves us wrong and he is a horse in the starting rotation and he can give Josh Matlow 6, 7, 8 innings. But it's a brand new season, and adjustments will be made accordingly. Fastball, and it's fouled over the screen, 3-2.
We found that he kind of struggles in the first couple innings of a start, so maybe if you want to get the best out of him, you kind of put him in the 4th, 5th, 6th inning. Should a starter not have his stuff that day early in the game as well.
Lazy fly ball to the right side. It's going to be out of play. Racing over Nolan Macabrota. Out of his reach. Count holds at 3-2. So we started to mention some of these pace of play rules, and one of them involves the batters. And you will see the umpires this season warn them to get in the box. And if they disobey the warning from the umpire, a strike can be called on the batter. And that can be before the at-bat, during the at-bat. Here's a fly ball to center field. Ejo sprinting in. Calls for it. Takes it for the out. 1 away.
So you mentioned the new rules, and as it pertains to batters, the IBL says if the batter does not swing or is not forced off balance or out of the batter's box by a pitch, then they must keep 1 foot in the box. They're not allowed to step out with both feet, which ideally will help, pace of play, batters, not taking time, etc.
Yeah, they basically made as many rule changes as they could without implementing the pitch clocks. The technology just isn't quite here in the IBL for something like that yet. I suspect maybe in the future we will see that at some point, but for now, they're just trying to speed up the pace of games. And we had a lot of games here last year that went over 3 hours. And fans around Major League Baseball have said how much they enjoy the quicker pace.
Especially with that all being in the same year.
Shorter games, 2:15, 2:30, kind of seem to be about the average in Major League Baseball. So they're trying to bring the IBL a little more in line with that. This one lined and through past the second baseman, Adam Odd, and into right field. Third hit off Juan Benitez tonight, and there's 1 on with 1 out. Plus, the sooner we get these games over with for the kids during the school year, they get to bed earlier on these weeknights.
Well, this probably won't happen in the IBL, but it's been pretty incredible to see some Major League games go under 2 hours. You've seen games kind of stretch the 150 mark.
Well, that's the length that games used to be without a pitch clock around not only Major League Baseball, but here in the IBL. I remember my first 10 year calling IBL games in the early part of the 2000s, and games always seemed to be 2.5 hours. Rarely you'd see a game over 3 hours, but that became more and more increasingly common over the years. The game just seemed to slow down, maybe with the innovation of new strategies and depth charts and all kinds of information. It just seems to slow things down.
And the more analytics you get, the more guys are thinking about stuff during their at-bats or when they're facing guys on the mound, and they have to take more time to gather their thoughts and their strategy, get in line with their catcher, etc.
That's a called strike, and it's 1-2. It's not even like we have video replay here in the IBL. Major League Baseball does, obviously, so that's going to slow their games down. But
we've also seen pitch comm in Major League Baseball, and I don't see that coming into the IBL anytime soon, but definitely something to think about as well.
1-2 pitch, called strike 3. Towers frozen, and there's 2 out in the inning. Strikeout brought to you by IMP North. And here's Jamie Cabral. Jamie, the designated hitter tonight. So with a runner on base, such is the case now, the pitcher is only allowed to disengage from the rubber twice per plate appearance. So Juan Benitez will have to be mindful of that, and all pitchers this season with runners aboard. And disengagement, of course, includes a pickoff attempt, anything where the pitcher would take his foot off the rubber.
That also includes if a pitcher asks for a new ball, actually. If a pitcher asks for a new ball during an at-bat, that also counts. That's disengagement. If the batter is in the box, that is.
Yeah, the pitchers are being encouraged to ask for a new baseball at the start of the at-bat, and that will prevent that from happening. Fly ball, foul territory, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. One nothing Maple Leafs on an RBI single by Justin Mara in the top of the first inning. Toronto trying to add here on this opening night for the Baycats. Benitez looks in. 0-2. And he wastes one high and tight. And the count is 1-2 as Cabral didn't chase. Three strikeouts in this game for Benitez. Here's the pitch. On the ground, to Hopper. Backhanded by the shortstop. Burns goes to second. And they get the force out. And that'll do it for the Leafs. They strand a runner. We played an inning and a half. 1-0 Toronto. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. Bottom of the second inning, Baycats trail the Maple Leafs 1-0. And this second inning is brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate, servicing Simcoe region for over a decade.
Here comes Ryan Rio to lead off the bottom of the second inning for the Barrie Baycats. Rio coming off an outstanding 2023 campaign, one that saw him hit 11 home runs and set the franchise mark for single season RBIs, 48. He loves to swing the bat. First pitch on the way, and he rips through that one and just gets a piece, fouling it off at home plate.
Well, as much as he swings, he's incredible at not striking out all that often. Only 25 last year to 15 walks. For a power hitter in your cleanup hole, that's very impressive.
0-1 pitch. Swings and he misses on the changeup. And it's 0-2 to Ryan Rio. 359 at the plate last year for the Baycats. Oh-2 pitch. And that one hit him. Right in the upper thigh. He tosses the bat to the dugout. Baycats get their first base runner of the night.
Left fielder number 29, Malik Williams.
Baycats fans absolutely overjoyed at the news that this guy is going to be back in the lineup this season. Malik Williams played just 9 games for Barrie last year, but having him in the lineup right from the get-go is going to make this already dangerous lineup even that much more scary.
And in those 9 games, it was probably his best of the entire season across all levels. 567, 15 ribbies.
Takes the first pitch, and it's a called strike. So Sam Green here will have to be mindful of the new disengagement rules that we were talking about earlier. One on, nobody out. Green with the pitch. And he misses. The count is 1-1. Sun has completely set now in the sky to our right behind first base. Still a beautiful, comfortable evening here at the ballpark. That one's outside. Williams ahead in the count now, 2-1.
I mentioned Williams' success at the plate in the IBL last year, also in the Frontier League, a very successful year, 302 in 45 games with 7 home runs, 31 RBI. So it's a great year all around for him.
2-1 pitch. And it's in the dirt, ball 3, 3-1. Got some youngsters beyond the outfield fences tonight. Right now they're in right field. Malik, a right-handed hitter. He has the power to go that direction, though. 3-1, and he fouls it back to the top of the screen. Want to say hi to some special folks that are here tonight. My mom and my dad are in attendance for tonight's game, as well as my aunt and uncle from Mississauga. My mom was the one who shrieked in horror after that ball hit the top of the screen. She thought that was coming right back at them. Swing and a miss. Williams down on strikes.
Yeah, not something he did that often on last year. Only twice in the IBL through his 9 games, 30 at-bats. But upcoming here, Nolan McElroy. This is a guy that Josh Matlow was really excited about in terms of having in this lineup. He's tried to beef up the lineup with some power, and this guy is definitely a characteristic of that.
So Macabroda for his first plate appearance as a Baycat with a runner on and one out. Swings and misses through the first offering. So this is the first Baycats game for my Aunt Linda and Uncle Jim, who are visiting here tonight. But my uncle used to go to Maple Leafs games at Christie Pitts quite a bit, going all the way back to the 60s. He knows the history of this franchise very, very well. Swing and a best strike, 2. I remember when I was a kid, my uncle gave me a wooden bat that said Toronto Maple Leafs on it, and I could never figure out, was it a baseball bat with the Maple Leafs? Like, I expect a hockey stick that said Maple Leafs, but not a baseball bat. I guess that was my first introduction to the Intercounty Baseball League. I did some research, and I realized, baseball team called the Leafs in Toronto? Strike 3, Macabroda frozen. Goes down on 3 strikes, 2 down.
Third baseman number 55.
So it was kind of special to have a bat with that Maple Leafs lettering embossed on it in silver, and we actually played baseball with that bat for years and years, and somebody hit a softball with it. Now, you know what happens when you hit a softball with a wooden bat? Splinters in about a million pieces.
Now, when you got that, was it the AAA Maple Leafs at the time or the IBL at the time?
We were trying to figure it out, and even he to this day isn't quite sure because it was given to him. And when I started to watch baseball when I was a youngster, he thought it would be cool for me to have it, so he passed it on to me, but we never could figure it out if it was the IBL Leafs or the AAA Leafs. Foul territory, and that will drop in front of the Toronto dugout. Salazzo came over, had a chance at that.
It looked like Salazzo and Mara just maybe had a little bit of miscommunication there. Like it fell right in between them, just in front of that first step of the dugout.
That's a tough catch to make. They were both in position, but it didn't look like either of them made an attempt. And Hayden Jaco will try to capitalize on this second chance. Green checks the runner. That's Ryan Rio at first base. Was hit by a pitch to lead off this bottom of the second inning. 0-1. Breaking ball for a strike. 0-2 to Hayden Jaco. Tyler Plumpton on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here in the second. Here's the pitch. Fouled back to the screen. mom didn't scream that time on that foul ball, so I think she's feeling a little more comfortable with these seats behind home plate. Every once in a while you see fans, maybe not so much here, but at Major League ballparks, they forget there's a screen in front of them. And the ball is fouled back and they're like ducking out of the way. Or you ever see that?
I have seen that. You remember home plate lady with the Blue Jays? Yeah, and with the new renovations, her season tickets have moved, it looks like.
Oh,
she's
really?
Further on the camera right.
Well, hopefully she's okay with that, or I'm sure they'll be hearing about it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Green to Jaco. Lifted high and foul. And that bounces off the benches. Heads up. Nobody tried to catch that ball. Everybody just tried to get out of the way.
Nobody has a glove over there.
Well, we have seen some nice barehanded catches over the years, but nobody wanted a piece of that. Baycats have something called Baycats Bucks this season. I love this idea. Kids can retrieve those balls and get 5 Baycat Bucks. We'll tell you more about that in a moment as Jaco is frozen on a strike on the outside corner. Not happy about it. Baycats strand a runner in the second inning. Play 2, still 1-0 Leafs. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Third inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium with the Maple Leafs leading the Baycats by a score of 1-0 here in the 2024 season opener for Barrie. With Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy. Kendra Doyle, our in-game studio, or our in-game stadium host, I should say. Kendra was busy with the Mississauga Steelheads in the summer, Julius, doing their games. So she goes from being an in-arena host to an in-stadium host.
Yeah, she was saying very excited to be back at the ballpark as opposed to being stuck in an arena over the winter, and she did a very good job with the Steelheads, I will say.
Way nicer being outside. How can you compare? Absolutely. I mean, everybody loves hockey, but who doesn't want to be outside doing their job?
Especially on a night like this.
And that franchise is on the move to Brampton, we're told, next season. So.
Yeah, and their first round of the playoffs came to a quick end against the Sudbury Wolves.
Well, Kendra's happy anyways these days because she's a Boston Bruins fan, fun fact. And she actually wanted to come on here and talk about the Bruins, and I said, no, that's okay. We don't need to do that. Fouled at home plate. That might have caught a piece of Inicio. Did a little skip and a jump there out of the batter's box, 1 and 2. Vinicio, Castaldo, and Mara for the Leafs here in the third inning. 2 Hopper to second. Easy play for Adam Odd. And there's 1 out.
First baseman number 5, Jordan Castaldo.
It's always interesting to find out what NHL teams people cheer for, and some of these players as well. Ryan Rio is a huge Toronto Maple Leafs NHL fan. But Brad Grieveson is a Bruins fan, I understand, and some of these fans have other non-Toronto teams that they like to cheer for throughout the season.
It's so crazy to see that because you wouldn't expect it anywhere else in Canada to be so diverse in terms of your fandom other than Ontario.
When I was a kid growing up, everybody had a non-Toronto team that they cheered for. And, of course, the Leafs have not had a very good 50-55 years. 1-0 pitch. That's a called strike. 1-1 to Jordan Castaldo. I mean, these Maple Leafs have had a much better playoff record than the NHL Maple Leafs.
Much more recent championship success, for sure.
2007, I believe, was the
Yes.
last Maple Leafs championship. A rich history of this franchise. 8 league championships since joining the IBL for the Intercounty Baseball Maple Leafs. Left side, and it's fouled. Over the trees, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leafs lost their season opener at home on Sunday afternoon on Mother's Day. Heartbreaking fashion as Castaldo fouls off another one. First game of the 2024 IBL regular season schedule, and the Leafs dropped it after tying the game 5-5 in the bottom of the 8th. 2 unearned runs against the London Majors, who get a win to start off their 2024 season. 2-2 on the way to Castaldo, and he hits it to left center field. That'll hang up there long enough for the catch. The left fielder for the Baycats, Williams. Here comes Justin Mara, who drove in the game's only run in the first inning. It's Tommy Reyes-Cruz that drove in the go-ahead run on Sunday for London in that top of the 9th inning, and then scored an insurance run on an error by shortstop Jose Vinicio. Total of 7 errors in that ball game. You're going to see a lot of that around the league in these early few weeks as everybody kind of gets the bugs out defensively. Pitch from Benitez, high and away.
In a very entertaining game, I will say, on Sunday. Close right until that 9th inning where London came back with those 2 runs in the top half.
Yeah, a tough loss for reliever Chris Nagorski. Pitcher of record comes into a tie ball game and tagged with the loss following 2 unearned runs. But Nagorski was one of 6 pitchers used by Rob Butler in that ball game. It was Wilganis Alvarado with the start, and then he went just 3 innings. So 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Benitez gets the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two on the ground. Nice play by the second baseman. Odd gets up, throws, and it's offline. Gets past the first baseman. And that's going to be an error on the second baseman.
That had all the makings of a great defensive play there by Adam Odd. And he's been tested very early in this game. A couple diving chances for him, and that one he did get a hold of, but just couldn't come up correctly standing up with that throw, and Macabrota couldn't come up with it either.
It's an error, but you almost want to put a check mark beside the E because he did make a nice diving or sliding play to backhand that ball and come up with it, but the bad throw obviously is what allowed Mara to get aboard safely. So rightly charged with an error, but still a nice effort to get to that and come up with it. So here's John Salazzo, the third baseman. I mistakenly said Justin Mara drove in the game's lone run. It was actually Salazzo on the sac fly. And it's 0-2 to him here. Mara got a single, which got Vinicio as far as third base, and that allowed Salazzo to hit that deep fly ball. 2 out here in the third. Here's the pitch from Benitez. And the pitch is low, and the count is 1-2.
Salazzo, first team IBL All-Star last year.
Runner goes. Here's the throw, and it backed up by the shortstop. Sprinting all the way over Carson Burns.
That's heads up running there from Mara. He caught both Carson Burns and Hadamad off guard there. I don't think either of them thought he was going to be off on that pitch, and neither of them were covering the bag.
So it puts him in scoring position with a 2-2 count and 2 out in the inning. But he tested the belt, the leg kick, the pitch, swung on and missed. Salazzo down swinging, down go the Leafs in the third inning. Strikeout brought to you by IMP North. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, and Toronto on top, 1-0. You're watching Baycats TV, and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Welcome back to the home opener of the 2024 Barrie Baycats season. There's currently down 1-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs going into the bottom of the third, and this bottom of the third inning is brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
Baycats looking for their first hit off Sam Green. It's Tyler Plumpton, Carson Burns, and Kanisi Joe. 8-9-1 for Josh Matlow here in the bottom of the third inning. Plumpton swinging first pitch, and he fouls it over the screen and over the benches behind the Baycat dugout.
You know, and I'm sure Tyler Plumpton is really eager to finally be able to get a chance to hit in the IBL season after the way his season ended last year.
A little bit of history for you. The Baycats in the last 2 home openers, both against Toronto, ended the game with walk-off hits, and Tyler Plumpton got one of them as he fouls that one over the screen, 0-2. Tyler Plumpton drove in James Anderson with the winning run in 2022 to break a 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 9th inning. And then, of course, last year, Ryan Rio breaking a tie in the bottom of the 9th. And that score was 10-10. Rio driving home Starlin Rodriguez with the winning run last year. Does that set the stage for something exciting tonight? We'll see. 0-2 the count to Plumpton here. Leafs up 1-0. We're in the third. Got to give kudos to the schedule maker for putting this Toronto-Barrie regular season opener at the top of the schedule the last couple of years. It's been a great rivalry for many years between these teams. And Plumpton gets hit. Second base runner, or no, that hit the bat.
Yeah, I could hear that definitive crack off the outside of the knob there, and just unlucky there for Plumpton. Looked like he was right in on his hands, and hit where the bat hits on his hands. Not enough to get him the free pass.
So the count's still 0-2. Pitch on the way from Green. And Plumpton doesn't chase it. It's 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Sam Green has struck out 4 in a row. Hern swinging first pitch, fouled off to the Barrie dugout. Saw action in 32 games last season.
Seems like he's the kind of hitter who's very streaky. He'll have games with a base hit here and there, but there are a couple games where he either goes 0 for 4 or he's 3 for 5 with 2 doubles.
Pitch incoming, and it's high and away. Count is even 1-1.
But still a quality guy to have, in your 9 spot, because there were times where Burns was, at the top of the order, potentially leading off or around the 6th spot.
Almost as good as having a second leadoff hitter in that number 9 spot at times, and he hits that one high. Country mile. It's going to stay playable, though. And the right fielder comes over and makes the catch. 2 outs here for Sam Green.
Center fielder number 9, Kenny Sneejo.
Green has retired 5 in a row and 8 of 9 as the Baycats are still looking for their first hit of the game.
Yeah, his only base runner was Ryan Rio leading off the 2nd inning, a hit by a pitch, and even that was a 2-strike at bat.
First offering to Ejo, and he takes it for a strike. Ejo led the Baycats in runs scored last season with 40, walks with 30, and set the franchise single-season record for stolen bases with 26. And he hits this one to center field. And it gets by the center fielder, Ryan DeSantos, off his glove. There to back up is Greg Carrington. Here's the throw. Not in time, and Ejo is aboard.
Second baseman number 26, Adam Odd.
It'll be a double for Ejo as DeSantos looked like he had a play on that ball, but maybe it had a little bit of tailspin on it.
There's a good chance he could have, maybe lost that one in the lights. It's around that time of night where the sun's setting, and it's kind of hard to see, the ball off the bat a little bit more than other parts of the day.
It looked like he kind of got caught up in that halfway point of trying to make a decision whether to go all out for it or let it drop in front of him. Ejo bluffs a start and does not go.
And that ball was sinking faster than maybe people would have expected off the bat. Ejo got really good contact on it, but kept sinking as further got in center field.
Second base runner of the night for the Baycats and their first hit. Ejo really dancing around the bag there, but second base trying to draw a throw. Green misses low and in, and it's 2-0. New disengagement rule will really help aggressive base runners like Kenny Ejo, knowing that, if you can draw a throw or two early in the at-bat, that puts you in a great position to get that big lead that you want, especially in scoring position. Anything to distract the pitcher, maybe make him step off. And the count here to Adam Odd is 3-0. Rookie Ricky Phillips is on deck. 3-0 pitch. Odd takes it, and it's ball 4. So the best chance of the game for the Baycats to get on the board. And Rick Phillips will come to the plate. Phillips grounded out to second base to end the bottom of the first inning. And a nice play by Mara as he makes the backhanded stab to keep that from going to the backstop. Phillips will quickly endear himself to this crowd if he can put the ball in play here and get the Baycats on the board. Green checks Ejo. Checks him a second time. Runner goes. Pitches high. And Ejo is in safely without a throw. Mara looked over his shoulder to talk to Chubba Vey. I think maybe he was hoping that he might get a catcher's interference or a batter interference call on that, as Phillips didn't make that much of an effort to get out of the way of the throw.
Well, Phillips ducked and he stayed within the batter's box, so.
It's not like the batter needs to vacate the batter's box in a situation like that. So Mara just did a quick check with the home plate umpire to see if he could get that, but Chubba Vey, the veteran umpire, has seen that play many times over his career. It's a 3-0 count here to Phillips. Ryan Rio, the dangerous cleanup man, is on deck. Phillips may get a good pitch here to hit. 3-0. Nope, it's outside, ball 4, and that'll load him up. And Rob Butler will use a mound visit here to chat with Sam Green. Catcher Justin Mara in as well as Jose Vinicio.
And that's another new rule this season in the IBL. As you mentioned, Rob Butler making his way out to the mound. There's only a limit of 6 mound visits without a pitching change per 9 innings. Obviously, after that, you have to make a pitching change.
And that's any manager or coach making a trip where the pitcher is not removed unless it's a signal cross-up. And the mound visit will be charged if the umpire is not notified. So it'll be up to the catcher to make sure the umpire understands that they're out there to talk about signals in order for it not to count as one of those trips. I mean, since you get 6 of them now per game, it'll be interesting to see if the manager comes out a little bit more often, actually.
Well, that's what we saw right there. It's very rare that you see a manager head out to the mound for a visit and not make a pitching change.
Because it used to be the catcher would come out and talk to the pitcher virtually in any situation like this.
Or your pitching coach would come out and just have a little talk.
First pitch to Rio, and he fouls it over to the on-deck circle.
We saw Sam Green disengage before that pitch, so keep in mind he only has 1 left.
Nowhere to put Ryan Rio here in this 3rd inning. 2 out. Green looking to pitch his way out of his first jam here this evening. The leg kick and the delivery. Rio takes a home run cut. He was swinging for Highway 26 on that one.
That's the definition of swinging out of your shoes, because his back foot came forward, and you don't really see that on swings from Ryan Rio.
And with the new rule, Rio needs to get right back in there, whereas previously, you know, he might have taken a couple of seconds out of the box to regain his composure after a swing like that. Pitch on the way from Green. Rio hits it to short. They go to second in time for the outs. So Sam Green dodges a huge bullet here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the Baycats leave the bases loaded. We played 3. It's still 1-0 Toronto. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Predicting record heat this summer.
You might not know the best time to get a new air conditioner, but we do. Right now, save 20% with the Reliance Early Bird Sale.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
To the fourth inning now at Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs up 1-0 over Barrie here in this 2024 season opener. Ryan DeSantos, number 5 hitter, will lead it off for the Leafs. Juan Benitez, who we were told may work limited innings in this start, has done quite well, holding the Leafs to just 1 run through 3, and that run coming in the first inning.
Dos Santos, a strong year last year. 30 games, a .292 average.
Count is 1-2. Benitez, who likes to work quickly anyways, is humming right along here in this top of the fourth inning. Gets the sign, rocks right into the windup. 1-2. And the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Benitez, not a pitcher who's typically going to breeze through the batting order. He'll often allow a base runner or two, but pitches very well with runners on. As this one's hit to left field, pretty deep. And it is over the head of Malik Williams. Picks it up against the base of the fence, fires it in, and that is a leadoff double for Ryan Dos Santos.
Yeah, that was a tough play for Malik Williams. You can definitely tell he was spun around on that fly ball, whether he got a good look at it or not. And we didn't see him a lot in left field or in the outfield at all last year with the Baycats. So first start of the year in a position he might be a little bit unfamiliar with or a bit rusty on. Not a great look, but was a tough play.
Leafs have had base runners all 4 innings so far, and they will get a man in scoring position here for Dan Mara, the veteran second baseman. And a first pitch strike. I want to let fans know that new for 2024, among many things, is the IBL app making its debut to your smartphone. I've downloaded it here on mine. And
so have I.
Very impressive. It's got everything the website has. Like other pro sports league apps, you select your favorite team. So, of course, you pick Barrie Baycats, and then right as soon as you open the app, you've got team news, you got league news, you can watch games, you can watch us, Baycats highlights. Again, everything you see on the website, but it's in a convenient app, and you can scroll through that and find previous posts. Very convenient. A weakly hit ball over Juan Benitez's glove, and no play. Adam Odd came charging in, but it was the pitcher or nobody on that weakly hit ball. And he just couldn't quite come down with it. Juan's a tall guy, but that was out of his reach.
Well, his momentum was bringing him forward after his follow-through, and he just couldn't get back in time. And even for Adam Odd, he was playing pretty far deep at second base, and being able to charge in. Mara's a pretty quick runner, and no chance.
And the ball stayed up in the air long enough that DeSantos couldn't go anywhere. So he's still at second base. He had to hold up in case Juan came down with the ball. Then once it hit the ground, there was no time for him to advance to third. So runners at first and second for Greg Carrington. Fans yelling triple play, triple play. We had one of those last year at Christie Pitts between these two teams. Maybe that fan was at that game. First triple play in Baycats franchise history. We talked about it an awful lot last year.
It was one of our top 10 moments of the 2023 season.
Yeah, you can still see that show on our YouTube page if you didn't get around to it. Top 10 moments of 2023. And as we were going through them, there were several that we had to skip over. We just didn't have time or space to fit them on the list. But it's a lot of fun going through each game and picking those great moments. Carrington with a strike. It's 2-1.
It was really fun making the show, too, I will say. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. It's on Baycats TV.
Pitch is a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Greg Carrington. That play was remarkable, not only because it was a triple play, but it was at Christie Pitts in extra innings. And it was, I can't remember if it was the first or second of 2 bases loaded, nobody out jams that Brad Gravison pitched his way out of. This roller to first is picked up by Mark Jabrota. He tags the runner to get the out there, and the other runners advance 90 feet.
Left fielder number 2, Charlie
So
Towers.
1 out in the inning for Charlie Towers. And the Baycats won that game as well. So it was a pretty incredible night all around for many reasons.
Well, I remember you being jealous that you weren't at the game to call it yourself.
And Thomas West, the Maple Leafs play-by-play announcer, did a great job on that play, because anytime a triple play is about to happen, nobody can possibly predict that that moment is going to come. There's no way to anticipate a triple play. That's how rare they are. And it was a tricky play, too, because it was a line drive to Hayden Jaco, who had to, at first base, dive to make the catch. Got back to double off the runner and then made a throw to home, or made a throw to third when the runner at third hadn't tagged up. So,
And so often when a triple play does happen, it always comes when the people on the bases aren't expecting that ball to be an out at all, because someone has to dive for it, slide, make a great play, etc. That's exactly what happened there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. First base is open, but Benitez coming right at Charlie Towers here, trying to get out of this jam in the 4th inning. 1-0 Toronto. Towers 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. Just missed inside, and the at-bat will continue. DH Jamie Cabral on deck. Here's the pitch from Juan Benitez, and it's a foul into the glove for strike 3. 2 outs. That counts as a strikeout.
And Baycats strikeout brought to you by IMP North.
Jamie Cabral.
And that's 5 strikeouts for Juan Benitez, right?
That is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these fans get free fries for the first time this season. According to my notes here. I hope I haven't misspoken. If I have, I owe a lot of people a lot of
You are
French
bang
fries,
on, Ben.
but it says
That
here,
is 5.
free fries with 5 Baycats strikeouts. So a lot of these fans don't even realize yet, but they just want free French fries here. 1-0 pitch, and behind in the count now, Juan Benitez 2-0 on number 9 hitter Jamie Cabral.
I will say, I think food giveaways at sporting events are probably the best.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw it last weekend. The Mariners were parachuting down hot dogs to their fans while playing Heaven is a Place on Earth over their PA. It was incredible to watch.
Well, they have garlic fries at, what's it called, Safeco Field?
At T-Mobile Park.
T-Mobile. I'm dating myself with the old stadium names, but yeah, garlic fries at T-Mobile. I've always wanted to try them. Haven't been on the West Coast, at least that area yet, so that's on my bucket list to see a Mariners game.
But you're going to the West Coast this year, correct?
I am going to be at the last game for the Oakland A's at home. We got tickets for the final game. I think it's a Wednesday afternoon at the Coliseum. Ball 4. Bases are loaded, and now it's back to the top of the order.
That's a great game to go to because of another giveaway that they're doing. So if you're one of the first 15 to 25,000 fans, I believe, I think you're going to get a replica of the Coliseum.
Manager Josh Matlow will use a mound visit here. Yeah, I'm excited to get that, and I mean, sadly, when I went online and bought tickets, it wasn't hard to get them. So it's hard to say. It's anybody's guess what's going to happen when the A's kind of wind down their season and whether the fans will give them a nice send-off. Or I know right now they're really angry. Most Oakland A's fans are about losing their team. They're not happy at all with the way that it's happened. And they haven't been attending games other than one boycott game that was kind of a
reverse boycott.
A reverse boycott. So they boycotted by showing up. the idea was just to show ownership what they, the crowds that they're capable of bringing. And it was a great night. I saw it on television. It was a lot of energy in the park.
I remember seeing the fans in the outfield. They had the sell the team signs hanging from the railing, and Major League Baseball had to edit them out from the highlights.
Yeah, I say great energy. It was angry energy, really. But they love their baseball in Oakland, and really sad that they're going to lose their team here in a few months. 0-1 pitch. Out at the plate, strike two. Juan Benitez 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. So what's the prize for 6 strikeouts? If it's fries for 5.
Well, imagine if they get 10, you get double fries.
Let's not misspeak here. If we falsely advertise something, we may be owing it. So. One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Juan Benitez slaps the glove as he heads off the mound and comes through with a clutch strikeout to get the Baycats off the field in the 4th. Still 1-0 Toronto. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
For the Maple Leafs, in inning number 4, no run.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Maple Leafs lead the Baycats in their home opener by a score of 1-0. And this 4th inning is brought to you by Clarkson Bins and Junk Removal, the local source for simple, clean, and reliable disposal bin rental and junk removal services.
Sam Green's night has come to an end after throwing, what do we have on the pitch count for Sam Green? 83 pitches tonight for the Toronto Maple Leaf starter, and he will hand the ball off to Max Lanoux.
Lanoux, former last year pitcher at Stony Brook University, and before that, Queen's University.
Throws a hard fastball. You saw it there. Count 2-0 as he falls behind Malik Williams to lead off the inning. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's high and in. 3 balls, no strikes. So the free French fry announcement was made between innings, much to the delight of the fans here, with Juan Benitez throwing 5+ strikeouts tonight. And now they would love a Baycat win here on opening night 2024. All kinds of fun things going on here at the ballpark, including something that's kind of like you were describing it to me. There's like these multicolored lights, and it's like a revolving selfie station.
Yeah, so there's like a platform, and then there's a phone that would be attached to the platform spinning around whoever's standing on it. It's like a video, like immersive photo booth experience. It's a company called 360 Around You that's supplying that for us today.
Okay, now I'm old. I just turned 50 this year. Why would anybody want a selfie of themselves getting dizzy?
No, the person isn't spinning around. The phone is on a stick.
Oh, the
spinning
phone
around
is
the
spinning.
platform.
Ah, the phone spins on the platform and you just stand there.
Yes.
Ah, okay. That makes a little more sense to me.
Some of the players did it on our media night. It looked pretty fun.
I've never heard of this idea before, but
I've seen it. Every time I see it, I think of the viral Brian Kelly video. It was the head football coach at LSU doing it with some of his recruits, and it was quite funny.
1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the fans seem to be enjoying it tonight. Nolan Macabrota struck out looking in his first Baycat plate appearance. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And he gets ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Barrie left the bases loaded in the 3rd.
Macabrota played D2 baseball at Lubbock Christian University. Also, Ryan Rio, an alumnus of that school as well.
Swing and a miss, and the count is 2-2.
I mentioned earlier that Josh Matlow really added a lot of power to this lineup, and Macabrota is one of those guys. Prior experience in the Western Canadian Baseball League, having been from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
2-2 pitch. And he lays off, and the count is full, 3-2. So short starts for Rob Butler's starting pitchers out of the gate here this season. Aganis Alvarado threw just 3 innings in their season opener on Sunday afternoon. Sam Green, a guy who's durable, can give you long innings, but he goes just 3 innings here tonight. Ball 4. 2 on for the Baycats in the 4th. Back-to-back walks.
If you're Max Lanoux, that's not the way you want to start your first career IBL outing. Back-to-back walks. You bring up a guy like Hayden Jaco, who's been an IBL All-Star before, can do some damage.
So 2 on, nobody out here on the 4th. Hayden Jaco struck out in his first at bat, shows bunt, pulls it back. Jordan Castaldo in just in case.
Salaja also playing at the edge of the grass at third base as well.
This is not a Baycat lineup you would expect to be playing a lot of small ball this season. It's loaded with offensive weapons, but situation like this, 1-0 game, scoring chances have been hard to come by so far. And that one is high, ball 2. And now out for a chat is catcher Justin Mara, just to settle down. Lanoux here, as you mentioned, making his IBL debut. Maybe a little bit nervous in front of this crowd tonight.
You mentioned Jaco showing bunt there. It might be good, first game of the season, but, get those playoff habits, out on the field early, because that's something that's going to come up quite a bit in the postseason when you're probably not going to be swinging for the fences a whole lot.
It'll be interesting to see what Jaco does with this 2-0 pitch coming up, because he knows more than likely Lanoux is going to try just to get me over pitch here. Just to try to battle back in the count. Jaco might see something really good to take a rip at. 2 balls, no strikes. And now Lanoux will step off. Great job by Malik Williams there, dancing around to force that disengagement. That's a phrase we'll be using a lot this year. Base runners forcing disengagements, distracting the pitcher. And And he misses again, 3-0. And Lanu wanted that call. He didn't get it. And now he's frustrated.
And you mentioned he looked like he was trying to get that, get me over pitch just to get a strike on the board, and just missed quite low, according to home plate umpire Chubba Vey.
Yeah, when you think you're close and you're not getting any help from the umpire, that just even adds to the mental challenge even more. And that one's outside, ball 4. The bases are loaded. Back-to-back-to-back walks.
I think now's a good time to mention, now that there's a relief pitcher on the mound, that there's now a 3-batter minimum in the IBL.
Yeah, same as Major League Baseball, and so now Lanu has faced his 3 batters. They could make a pitching change if they wanted, but nobody's been warming up in that Toronto bullpen, so they've used 1 mound visit this inning. Total of 6 allowed in the game, as we mentioned, so we'll have to figure out what the rules are for extra innings, whether they extend these numbers, the mound visit rule in particular.
I believe in Major League Baseball, you get 1 per inning before you have to change your pitcher.
2 balls, no strikes, and the crowd really getting in the head of Max Lanu here, who is clearly struggling out there.
If you're Tyler Plumpton here, the bat is probably going to be, glued to your shoulder until you see any kind of strike over the plate. And there it is.
There it is. So the called strike, 2-1. Lanu working really quickly here, too. He's getting the ball, coming set. 2-1. Called strike. And he's battled back now to make it 2-2.
I don't blame Plumpton for taking that one. I know you're now at 2 strikes, but again, you have to prove that first strike wasn't a fluke either.
You're still going to get something pretty good to hit here on a 2-2, I would think. Struggling pitcher isn't going to waste one here with the bases loaded. And he misses, and the count is full. Plumpton has still not swung this at bat.
Seemed like Lanu's release was much more over the top than his other pitches. He really seemed to have spiked that one with his release.
Let's see if Plumpton's swinging here on the payoff pitch. Here it is. And it's hit sharply foul. Williams had to get out of the way of that. Came dangerously close to third base coach Andrew White as well. Good velocity off the bat of Tyler Plumpton. Now he just needs to straighten that out a little bit on the 3-2. Williams, Macabroda, and Jaco aboard, and the pitch is fouled off the top of the screen. Pitch on the way, and it's fouled off again. Baycats looking to get on the board here. Nobody out, still at the bottom of the 4th inning. Max Lanu's pitch. Just misses outside, ball 4, and the Baycats have tied the game. So Malik Williams scores the first run of the night for Barrie. Everybody moves up 90 feet.
Shortstop number 3, Carson Burns.
4 walks in this inning for Max Lanu, and Carson Burns bats with the bases loaded.
And Dean Christidis is up in the Maple Leafs bullpen, and I would imagine it's probably not going to be taken out here, Max Lanu, but this is probably going to be his last straw if he can't get any kind of out against Carson Burns here, number 9 hitter for the Baycats.
Well, if you're wondering about relievers available, pretty much everybody can be used here tonight. The Leafs have not played since Sunday afternoon. Rob Butler used 6 pitchers in Sunday afternoon's game. Wilganis Alvarado with the start went 3 innings. Marek Deska, Julian Valdez, Adamara, and Julian Timochko also saw action in relief, along with Chris Nagorski, who took the loss, 2 unearned runs in the 9th inning. See if we see any of them in tonight's ball game, but not now, as Max Ledoux will battle out there. 4 consecutive walks, still nobody out, and here's number 9 hitter Carson Burns. And a strike call.
Christidis is no longer throwing in the Maple Leafs bullpen, so I think it's safe to assume that he's ready to go should this be the last batter for Max Ledoux.
Burns flied out to right in the 3rd. Starter Sam Green. First time Ledoux's been ahead in the count. This one fouled off, and now he's got an 0-2 count to Burns.
Now he might be looking to throw something with a bit more movement or off-speed pitch that he probably didn't have the ability to throw before, because he was just trying to stay safe and get anything over the plate.
Maybe a breaking ball low in the zone here, try to get the ground ball, double play, could get his team off the field.
The corners are playing in for the Maple Leafs.
And it is hit on the ground, and it's fouled off. So the count 0-2 to Carson Burns. Big hole between 3rd and short if Burns can go that way. Acabroda at 3rd, Jaco at 2nd, Plumpton at 1st. The pitch missed, not by much, 1-2. The at-bat will continue.
That's a great take there from Burns. Those high pitches, especially in when you're down 0-2 in the count, or with 2 strikes especially, those high pitches can be really appealing.
Pitch from Ledoux. Breaking ball, sails wide, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You can see that one right out of his hand, that looping 12-6 action. Just missed the outside part.
Looked like he maybe found his groove when he got ahead of Burns 0-2, but now Burns battling back to even the count. Here's the pitch, and that's inside. These Baycats players showing a lot of patience here at home plate. They are not helping Max Ledoux out at all. Three balls, 2 strikes. Ledoux trying to avoid walking in another run. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Burns is the first out of the inning.
Center fielder number 9, Kenny Ejo.
And that would have been a fastball for a strike all the way, so Burns took a rip and just couldn't connect. Here's Kenny Ejo now. Ejo tonight 1 for 2, strikeout and a double. Got as far as 3rd base in the 3rd inning. Takes the first pitch, and it's high, ball 1. Ledoux with the leg kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Ejo took a cut.
Strong cut there from Ejo, and just getting to be able to watch him in batting practice the last few days coming into this game, and he's really bulked up compared to what he looked like last season, and seems to have a bit more power in his game.
2 balls and a strike.
He had 10 extra base hits last year, 2 of them home runs.
And we know this Baycat lineup can hit. Just 1 hit so far this evening, but trying to take advantage of the walks here in the 4th. And ahead in the count is Ejo. 3 balls, 1 strike.
And Ejo with that only hit of the game for the Baycats, as you mentioned, that double in the 3rd inning.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. A couple of good cuts by Ejo, but he's been unable to connect here. Pitch from Ledoux. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts for the rookie. Back to back. Burns and Ejo, and now Odd will bat with 2 away.
Number 26, Adam Odd.
When was the last time you saw an inning with 4 straight walks and back-to-back strikeouts?
I cannot recall. I don't think I've ever seen this,
Rob
especially
Butler,
from the same pitcher.
the manager for the Maple Leafs, out, and will he take the ball? He will. Well, a mixed outing for Max Lanoux. It started off as a disaster with 4 straight walks, but he bears down and gets a couple of key strikeouts to keep this score tied at 1. And a pitching change for the Leafs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the Maple Leafs 1, the Baycats 1. You're watching Rogers TV and Baycats TV. Adam Odd comes to the plate to face the 3rd Toronto pitcher of the night. It is left-hander Dean Christidis.
And Christidis, another guy who's making his IBL debut tonight, and probably his claim to fame as a pitcher. He pitched for the Greek national team in 2019 and 2021, and multiple levels of the European Championship. Had a really good tournament in 2019, a 1.38 ERA led that tournament, and then 2021. The main European Championship tournament had a bit of a rough stretch. We see him here in the IBL for the first time.
Welcome to the ball club. Here's a bases-loaded 2-out jam for you in your debut in this league. Tall task at hand as he faces a pretty tall guy at the plate, Adam Odd. Lefty-lefty matchup here with 2 outs. Odd hits it to right field, and it is caught by Greg Carrington, coming over to his right. And that will do it. So the Baycats score just 1 run after 4 walks from reliever Max Lanoux. They're able to tie the game, and that is it so far. We go to the 5th. Julius up to call the next 2 innings for you. When we return, you're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original two men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. Two small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. It's a tie ball game at the home opener for the Barrie Baycats against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And after 83 pitches from Juan Benitez on the mound, pitching change for the Baycats. And it's Frank Garces making his first career IBL relief appearance.
You mentioned 83 pitches. That's a lot for Juan Benitez over 4 innings of work. And this game slowed right down to a crawl in that bottom of the 4th inning.
Frank Garces not wearing his usual number. He's at 45 at the moment. You'll see him wear 97 eventually throughout the year. As Jordan Castaldo leads off for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He starts him off at 2-0. Both pitches outside.
You know, baseball is such a funny game. Reliever for Toronto, Max Lanoux, comes in, throws 36 pitches, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. And then reliever Dean Christinas comes in, throws 2 pitches, and ends the inning. 1 swing of the bat off Adam Ott, a flyout to end the threat. And the Baycats only able to score 1 run after all of those pitches.
I'll say I'd never seen that before. 4 walks consecutively and then 2 strikeouts. Lined out to right field, but it's going to drop foul down towards the Baycats bullpen.
And if you're manager Josh Matlow, you got to be a little frustrated with the outcome of that bottom of the 4th inning. Not to be too hard on these guys. It's early in the season. It's early in this ball game. But you get 4 walks to lead off an inning, you've got to score more than 1 run. There's just no other way to say it.
Especially when top of your lineup comes up with bases loaded. Called strike 3 on Castaldo. Garces strikes out the first batter he sees in 2024.
Well, Jordan Castaldo's been in this league an awful long time. He knows these umpires and he knows that pitch, and he thought he should have got that call. It would look to be a little bit off the outside part of the plate, but that's a strike to Chubba Bay, and he rang him up.
So 1 down for Garces, and he'll face Justin Marr, the catcher. He sees the first pitch strike.
Well, we mentioned we're talking about these new rules and the pace of play and how the game is supposed to pick up a little bit, but 90 minutes and we're still just here in the top of the 5th inning, so we're on pace for another 3-hour ball game here tonight, even with the small rule adjustments that have been made.
And even with the low score, still only 1-1 here in the 5th.
It's just been volume of pitches, really. Benitez worked pretty quickly. Max Lanoux certainly worked quick, but deep counts, and feels like we've seen an awful lot of baseball here tonight already. We're only in the 5th.
And that's testament to the patience of the hitters of both teams. We saw it, on full display in that last inning with even the 2 strikeouts went nearly to full counts. 1-1 pitch from Garces, just outside, 2-1.
Yeah, the Baycats were not giving Max Lanoux any help at all. IBL rookie out there making his debut. 4 straight walks until Carson Burns came to the plate and took a couple of swings, but basically it was the Baycats' patience that got all those base runners in that bottom of the 4th.
2-2 pitch low in the dirt. Count is full here on Justin Mara with 1 out. Mara coming into this game 2 hits away from 600 in his IBL career.
That's an incredible milestone.
3-2 pitch. Fouled off out of play on the left side.
3 Maras in this league and on this Toronto Maple Leaf team. Dan, Adam, and Justin.
Adam also working as the pitching coach for the Maple Leafs this year as well. Another 3-2. Just inside. Mara works the walk against Garces, a very rare sight, especially from what we've seen from Garces the last few years with the Baycats.
Yeah, Frank doesn't give up a lot of walks, and he's a little frustrated out there, you can see, allowing a base runner here in this 5th inning. And you mentioned this is the first relief appearance for Frank, and I wonder how he felt about that when he was told that that would be his role here tonight. And maybe a little bit of a mental adjustment, I would have to think, for a guy who's normally out there with a clean score night in, night out, and comes into a game with a situation already unfolding 5 innings into this ball game.
First pitch strike there to Jonathan Salazzo, and mentioned how rare the walks are for Garces. He only had 10 last year through 14 total appearances throughout regular season and playoffs. That was drilled foul well out of the stadium.
Gets a clean inning to work with here. No base runners, but still maybe a little bit of a different approach coming midway through a ball game. It'll be interesting to see if Josh Matlow wants him to finish this ball game and give him 5 strong innings tonight.
Lined into left field, a base hit for Salazzo, and another rare sight. Garces is going to have 2 runners on behind him with only 1 out.
Well, if you don't know about Frank Garces, 34 years old from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. And longtime Baycat fans remember his first stint with this team. In fact, in 2018, he had a remarkable year, winning all 7 starts that he made for the Baycats, allowing 2 earned runs in 47 innings. A mind-blowing 0.38 earned run average. 58 strikeouts, 3 walks.
Incredible year, and by far the IBL Pitcher of the Year during that season when they still had the award.
One of the most dominant seasons in IBL history, never mind Baycats history.
First pitch strike to Ryan Dos Santos, who doubled to lead off the 4th inning.
And Garces has been the ace of this pitching rotation since rejoining the club 2 years ago.
Another called strike, and Garces getting back into the groove. It's 0-2. No holds on either of the runners. 0-2 pitch delivery from Garces is high and outside.
It's always exciting to watch a pitcher here in the Intercounty Baseball League with Major League Baseball experience, and Frank Garces has that on his resume, and he always will. 55 games for the San Diego Padres, the big club, 2014 and 2015.
Swung on and missed. Dos Santos strikes out, and like I said, Garces trying to get back in the groove. Strikeout brought to you by IMP North.
Well, typical Frank Garces inning here with 2 strikeouts, despite a couple of base runners, and Mara, the veteran, will come to the plate, try to put the Leafs back on top.
Mara had a hit earlier in this ball game. Actually, last inning, in fact, he singled after Dos Santos doubled. The Baycats did end up getting out of that jam.
Anything about Frank Garcez's career and the impact that he's had on the Intercounty Baseball League and this Barrie Baycats team specifically, and still very dominant in this league. Not that he's old by any stretch of the imagination, but you think about that big league stint that he had with the Padres. That was pretty much 10 years ago now. 2014, 2015, he played those 2 years. A lot of baseball under his belt since.
Even since then, he's pitched professionally in Japan and Nippon Professional Baseball, and plenty of minor league experience before coming here to the IBL, and showing just why that he earned the major league roster spot over the course of those 2 seasons. He's up 1-2 here on Dan Mara. Mara flies it out foul, out of play on the right side.
And Dominican pitching has been very good to the Barrie Baycats in recent years. Juan Benitez, originally from the Dominican Republic as well, now living in this area. And they also had Jeffrey Nunez last season from the DR. And a couple of new Dominicans joining the pitching staff here in 2024 as well.
Yeah, and Josh Matlow is very excited to see them out on the mound for the Baycats. Cesar Rosado and Carlos Sano, 2 big right-handed pitchers. That one's lined into right field. It's going to drop and get down. Rick Phillips is there. No chance to get Justin Mara at the plate. The Maple Leafs take a 2-1 lead on an RBI single by Dan Mara.
Well, it looked like Mara was waiting for that pitch, just sitting on it, and he got all of it. Good, solid contact, and drives in a huge run for the Leafs here in what's shaping up to be a low-scoring game. 2-1 Toronto now. And the inning will continue for Greg Carrington with 2 out.
And quite surprising that this is such a low-scoring game because of what we saw in the Baycats home opener last year with the Maple Leafs in town. An 11-10 final score with the Baycats walking off in the 9th inning. First pitch to Carrington, a called strike, and Garcez started that game, if I do recall.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that, but we've seen a little bit of everything from these teams over the years. Mostly lopsided scores. We saw a 2015 game, 20-15 was the final score. I think that was 2 seasons ago. And we had the high-scoring home opener last year, 11-10. 2 years ago, the Baycats won 2-1 on opening night. The low-scoring games seem to be here, though, I will say that. I can't recall a low-scoring game between these teams at Christie Pitts, but we have seen some low scores here. This is certainly more of a pitcher's park.
Garcez 1 strike away from getting out of the inning after that wild swing by Carrington, the 1-2. That was popped up. It's going to head foul and drop on the left side.
You know, if you're a hitter with average power, you can hit a lot of home runs at Christie Pitts.
It's a bit harder for lefties, though. They raised the fence out there in right field a little bit, and it looks like it's twice the size of what it is in the rest of the ballpark.
Now, I wasn't aware of that. Is that just new for this year?
I believe so.
Okay.
Another 1-2 from Garcez. Just outside. Carrington stays alive in a great take. Yeah, it seems like they've raised that right field fence at Christie Pitts to kind of protect the other baseball fields that are sitting behind it from youth teams that are playing out there at the same time as the Leafs.
A couple of junior baseball diamonds out there in right field, so that doesn't surprise me.
2-2, high and away, full count.
The other interesting thing that you see at Christie Pitts that you don't see at the other IBL ballparks is there's a lot of people there that aren't even watching the game. They're just walking their pets, they're pushing strollers, they're kicking soccer balls around. Like, it's a part of the city where a lot of people are doing different things.
Yeah, it's a public park, and you see just how important that place is to the community, and the Maple Leafs get a lot of crowds. Runner goes at first with a full count, and Carrington takes it inside for a 2-out walk. The Maple Leafs have the bases loaded with Charlie Towers coming up.
Well, other than the fact that he has 2 strikeouts, this is not a typical Frank Garcez inning.
Number 2, Charlie Towers.
And certainly not a typical first inning for Frank Garcez. Again, he's not used to this relief situation. And I mean, a little bit of an experiment by Josh Matlow here on opening night. We'll see if he goes back to this idea, but Frank doesn't seem to be his usual dominant self here in the early part of this outing.
Charlie Towers up. Takes the first pitch strike. Towers, new to the Maple Leafs roster, coming over from the Hamilton Cardinals, where he spent last season. Important role is there, starting shortstop. He swings and misses, and he's quickly down 0-2. Saw in the exhibition game last Saturday, Garces pitched in relief in that one as well, and he got into a little bit of a jam, but he got out of it without letting in a run. Towers fouls that one off just behind the plate.
Well, that's one thing Garces does so well, is he can battle back after even allowing some base runners. Brings that mental focus into those important pitches, especially with 2 outs.
0-2 pitch. That one's high on Towers, 1-2.
Not sure if he just missed or if he was trying to get Towers to chase that ahead in the count 0-2. Often you'll see a pitcher waste a pitch, but I think that one just got away from Frank a little bit.
Yeah, I was giving him the high heat there with the fastball. Just rose a bit too much from the lefty. Another 1-2. That one's grounded to short. Jacob cuts in front. He can't make the play. Bobbles it a bit, and Salazzo comes in to score. Maple Leafs take a 3-1 lead on Frank Garces in the 5th.
Second error of the game for the Baycats, and defense was the big problem for the Maple Leafs on Sunday afternoon at Christie Pitts against London in their loss. 4 Toronto errors in that game, 2 here for the Baycats, and that's a costly one as it gives the Leafs their biggest lead of the night.
Now batting, Marcus Connect.
So Marcus Connect, the pinch hitter for Jamie Cabral, the starting DH in the 9 spot. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Looks like they're just bringing in a righty instead of the lefty Cabral.
Well, Connect has had some huge playoff moments for the Leafs over the years.
Quickly 1-1 here. Bases still loaded. Rare jam here for Frank Garces. Another swing and a miss by McGee. It's 1-2.
You look up and down this Toronto lineup, and there's a lot of guys that have been with this organization for a long time. They all know their role, and Marcus Connect is one of those guys.
1-2. Did he go? He did not.
First base ump Ryan Jackson there, extending this at bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Frank with a good off-speed pitch.
It's actually Justice McGee pinch hitting. And he goes on that one. Frank Garces with a strikeout to get out of the 5th inning, but the Maple Leafs take a 3-1 lead on the Baycats. And a key error got them there. But we head to the bottom of the 5th. 3, 4, 5 of the Baycats lineup coming up. You're watching Baycats Baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Bottom of the fifth inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. It's brought to you by Batrim Aluminum and Siding, quality above all else.
Maple Leafs have a 3-1 lead over the Barrie Baycats here in the bottom of the fifth inning. I'm Julius Hern along with Ben Davy. Rick Phillips is the leadoff hitter here in the fifth for the Baycats, and Ryan Rio, Malik Williams to follow. 3-4-5 of the Baycats order.
And I want to congratulate / welcome you on your first full season here, doing announcing here in the broadcast. I know last year probably felt like a full season for you.
It did feel like a full season.
You were sort of in the third string role and ended up doing more games than probably expected, but you did such a great job, we decided to keep you for the whole season this year.
That's very kind of you. I really appreciate it. Happy to be here. It's a beautiful opening night. Couldn't ask for any better weather here.
Yeah, I remember opening night last night was a little bit chilly. And a lot of these fans cleared out of here early and missed a comeback for the ages. Down 10-6, Barrie scoring 5 in the ninth.
Phillips drives it into left field for a base hit. His first hit in the IBL comes here in the fifth inning. Ryan Rio with a chance to bring him around here in the fifth.
27, Ryan Rio.
Well, welcome to Barrie, Ricky Phillips. Only 2 hits for the Baycats tonight, and he's got one of them.
So Ryan Rio comes up. He was hit by a pitch in the second. He was stranded eventually after 3 consecutive strikeouts by Sam Green. And then he ended the inning on a fielder's choice in the third as Christidas throws over to first.
The Baycats have had so many base runners tonight, it's hard to believe they only have 2 hits in this ball game and only 1 run. 4 straight walks in the fourth. They got 2 walks off Green in the third.
On the ground foul, and first base coach Jeremy Eulenberg almost made a nice play there.
I mentioned Rio hit by a pitch to lead off the second inning. That was the first base runner the Baycats got tonight. Nice bit of pitching by Sam Green in the start tonight for the Maple Leafs. Ran into a bit of trouble in the third, but got out with minimal damage.
On the ground, it's blocked there by Mara. It's 1-1 to Rio. Dean Christidas only needed 2 pitches to get out of that bases loaded jam in the fourth. Got Adam on to line out to right as Rio fouls that one off on the right side.
It's interesting because if Odd hits that fly ball with earlier in the inning, that brings home a run. So a 2-out fly ball was harmless as far as Toronto is concerned.
So 1-2 here on Rio. Lefty on lefty matchup. Phillips on first, taking his lead. And he throws over. Phillips back in standing, no problem.
So many interesting side stories to this ball game here tonight, but one of them, if the score can hold up and the Leafs win tonight, it will be their first win over the Baycats since they eliminated Barrie in the 2022 playoffs.
Rio way out in front of that one, strikes out. That's the first out of the inning for Dean Christidas, and up comes Malik Williams.
Number 29, Malik Williams.
Teams will see each other again once more this month, Wednesday night, May 29th. That's at Christie Fitz in Toronto. And these teams will face each other again 6 times this season. Barrie, as we've mentioned before, going 6-0 in the 2023 regular season.
So Malik Williams' third play appearance of the game. He fouls that one. Well, got a play on the right side.
Now in 2024, just to let fans know, some teams will see each other only 5 times. It's an unbalanced schedule for the first time here this year with the addition of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. They've kept the schedule at 42 games. So rather than adding on to the schedule, it's a mix of 6 teams facing each other either 6 times or 5 times. In the case of these 2 teams, they will play each other the full 6.
And with that addition of Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, now we will see 1 team miss the playoffs, as opposed to we've seen all 8 make the playoffs previous years.
Yeah, it puts a good little playoff race at the bottom of the standings, and it's always exciting when you get into those last weeks of August anyways, as teams try to battle for playoff positioning, but now a little more at stake and some incentive to make sure you're not at the bottom of the barrel.
That one in the dirt. It's 3-1 now on Williams, with Phillips taking a fairly sized lead over there at first base. Phillips stole a base in the exhibition game against the Thornhill Reds, so he is a threat to run. 3-1 on Williams. He checks his swing. He does not go. Williams reaches first base on the walk.
A lot of fans around the league have said it'll be nice if we could get a 10th team in the league just to balance things out a little bit, and then you could go with 2 divisions. You could have 2 5-team divisions, maybe an East Division and a West Division, and then you could have each team play each other. You had 9 opponents play each other 6 times, or 5 times. 5 times would be 45. You could extend the schedule from 42 games to 45 games. That would be a little bit more realistic, I think.
And then what you could do is, if you win your division, you get a bye, possibly, too.
All kinds
second round of the playoffs.
Yep.
A lot of different possibilities. As Nolan Macabrota steps in, looking for his first hit as a Baycat. Reached on a walk his last time up.
What do you think of some of these sports leagues that have play-in games? Like the NBA has done this now, where 10 teams qualify. I mean, we're not going to see that happen in this league. Oh, well, you could, I guess, but you have like the 10th place team play the 9th place team, and then the winner of that plays the 8th place team. And it's one game. It's a one and done.
It's very interesting, I think, but I'm not a huge fan of it in the NBA because you're seeing teams that are well under 500 possibly get in the playoffs. 2-0, now 3-0 to Nolan Macabrota.
Well, that's the point of it, I guess. They want more teams in playoff contention in the final weeks. So by expanding it from 8 to 10 teams in each division, it kind of opens up a little bit of that. But
then at that point, you have well over 50% of your league playing post-regular season basketball.
Yeah.
Macabrota thought he had a walk there, and Chubave called a low strike on him. It's 3-1. Hayden Jaco waits on deck. Christidas the 3-1. Macabrota lines it on the ground. Could be 2. Vinicio over to Castaldo. Double play for the Leafs. They get out of it. Baycats had 2-1, and Macabrota grounds into a double play to end the inning. Leafs lead it 3-1 as we head to the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
We're predicting record heat this
You
summer.
might not know the best time to get a new air conditioner, but we do. Right now, save 20% with the Reliance Early Bird Sale.
Call on Reliance.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. Top of the sixth between the Maple Leafs and the Baycats. Toronto leads Barrie 3-1. One other game going on right now in the IBL. It's the Hamilton Cardinals up 5-0 on the Kitchener Panthers in the top of the ninth inning.
And I think Chatham played Brantford earlier today. I'm not sure. We'll see if we can maybe get an update.
No, just the two games in the IBL today.
Okay.
On the ground, the third, Jaco gets in front of it, makes the play over to first, retires Vinicio for the first out.
Well, a great defensive play there to end that threat for Barrie in the bottom of the fifth inning. That 4-6-3 double play really helping Dean Christidis out and keeping the score at 3-1. Nice defense there by the middle infield, Vinicio and Mara.
Here comes Jordan Castaldo facing his former teammate with the Baycats, Frank Garces, who's back out for the sixth inning. And Castaldo, member of those consecutive championship teams with the Baycats. Castaldo began his career all the way back in 2010 in the IBL. He sees a 2-0 count right now on Garces. Apparently he was actually considering retirement from the IBL until maybe the new ownership of the Maple Leafs kind of rejuvenated him and urged him to come back, and apparently Castaldo was actually trained to be a firefighter. 2-0 pitch, just inside. Excuse me, that was a 3-0, and Castaldo worked the walk.
It's always interesting to talk to these guys. They have very busy lives outside of baseball. They're not playing Inter-County Baseball League full-time professionally as Major League ball players do. So they have jobs and hobbies, and John Salazzo is a train conductor, I believe. An interesting documentary on him that came out a couple of years ago.
Interesting. There's Justin Morris. He's a first pitch low. Nice block there by Tyler Plumpton. Mara's reached each of the 3 times he's been up this evening. Sees another one low from Garces, and again, like we mentioned last inning, very uncharacteristic, all these outside pitches from Garces. Already has a walk in this inning. That's 3 on his appearance so far. 2-0. Another low one called by home plate umpire Chubba Vey. That's 7 straight balls thrown by Garces. 3-0. Right down the middle for strike 1. Mara had a base hit in the first, reached on an error and stole a base in the third, and later walked and scored in the fifth as he fouls that one off of Tyler Plumpton's mask.
Well, hard to say, but it wouldn't surprise me if Frank's next appearance isn't a start, a usual scheduled start as we've grown accustomed to seeing him throughout his career. A little bit of an experiment here tonight, having him come on in relief of Juan Benitez, but pitchers are creatures of habit. They like their routine. They like to know exactly, once they know their role, when they're going to pitch. And even in a situation like tonight, Frank knows he's going to come in the middle of the ball game. It's going to be the 4th inning, the 5th inning. Well, that all depends on how Benitez does.
Fly ball into left field. Malik Williams is going to saddle under it. Make the catch, 2 down.
It turned out Juan went 4 innings tonight, but if he had struggled earlier on, Frank would have been needed earlier in the ball game. So you'd have to talk to him to find out for sure, but each pitcher is a little bit different, and some like that consistency of knowing exactly when and what time they're going to come in and work. Starters in particular, I'm speaking of.
When you mentioned Benitez there, 83 pitches through 4 innings is quite a lot when you think about it. That's over 20 pitches per inning.
Yeah, his pitch count got high in a hurry, a lot higher than usual, and they still got 4 innings of work out of him.
John Salazzo cuts and misses at the first pitch.
Frank Garces, an absolute workhorse in the starting rotation, will consistently give you 6 or 7 innings and sometimes 8 or 9.
Yeah, he had 2 complete games, one of them being a shutout last season, and arguably the best performance of the season by any Baycat, probably that complete game shutout here against the Jackfish. That's Saturday afternoon in July. Now when high, it's now 2-1 on Salazzo.
Well, he mixes his pitches very well, and you see it even here in this at-bat with John Salazzo. Good pitch mix, and his arm is so strong. He doesn't seem to lose much velocity, if any, in the late innings when he works. And that's why he can give you so many innings.
Strike 2 called there on Salazzo. Garces 1 strike away from getting out of it again.
Juan Benitez, in my opinion, he sort of evolved into more of a pitch-to-contact type pitcher. He will give up some base hits, some ground balls.
He's not one to blow you away with velocity like Garces has the tendency to. 2-2 pitch to Salazzo. Just outside, it's a full count.
Very close call. Salazzo, the veteran, knowing to lay off that pitch and not chase. Big pitch coming up here with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
Runner goes from first on the full count. Ball is low. Salazzo takes the walk. Another multi-walk inning for Frank Garces. Maple Leafs threaten again with 2 out.
Four walks for Frank Garces. Certainly not what we usually see.
Very unusual from Garces, who we've seen be so dominant. And now here's Ryan Dos Santos, who he struck out last inning. First pitch is outside.
We mentioned the phenomenal Dominican pitching that the Baycats have had the last few years, and it's been fun watching this team go to the Dominican Republic for spring training the last couple of years. Josh has brought some players down there, and they've done some charity work, donating baseball equipment to a lot of underprivileged kids who love the game down there and just appreciate anything that they can get to help them enjoy the sport that they love.
They had a really good haul of equipment that they took with them this year. It was impressive to see.
Well, what goes around comes around, and I know Josh and this entire organization are big believers in giving back and sowing seeds, and you invest in some of these kids. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if one or more of those kids ended up being Barrie Baycats one day?
1-2 pitch on Dos Santos, swung on and missed. Garces ends it with a strikeout in the 6th inning. Doesn't allow a run in this one. Maple Leafs still lead the Baycats 3-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the 6th inning, brought to you by Moving.ca. 2 small men with big hearts moving, making moving stress-free for over 35 years.
Bottom of the 6th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. 7, 8, 9 in the Baycats lineup coming up against Dean Christidis, who's back in the ballgame on the mound for the Maple Leafs. I'm Julius Hern along with Ben Davy. Baycats trail the Maple Leafs by 2. It's 3-1. Christidis has gotten out of a jam when he came in with 2 outs in the 4th inning, and he's maintained a level head since. He got out of another jam in the last inning by a double play from Nolan Macabrota.
Yeah, some really nice defense by the middle infield on that double play, as we mentioned, to help him out. And now a mound visit.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a cross-up between Mara and Christidis.
And in that case, if it is a signal cross-up, then we're not sure, but Justin Mara would have alerted home plate umpire Chubba Vey to let him know that that is the situation, and it won't count as a mound visit in that case. Oh, we're told in that case the home plate umpire is expected to go out to the mound, so maybe that wasn't the case, but on a signal cross-up, if you tell and they might be having that conversation right now. It looks like.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, because
I think I saw Vey turn around and signal to the booth up here that that was a mound visit. And I think Mara maybe is saying, no, it wasn't. I was trying to get the signal straight.
So that would be, I believe, 3 visits left for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, if he didn't alert the umpire, that's considered a mound visit. And if he did, the umpire is supposed to walk out there with him. So the fact that he didn't would indicate that that was not communicated.
So 1-1 on Hayden Jaco, who reached his last time up on a walk. He takes that one high. It's 2-1.
Gotta love these finer points of the game that, you know, you can break down and you can pick them apart left and right. But, you know, a situation like that, what if this game goes into extra innings and you've used your mound visits? That could be a real disadvantage.
Definitely could be. It's what makes baseball great. It's all the strategy. Popped up on the infield. Second baseman Dan Mara's over, makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning.
Catcher number 44, Tyler Brockton.
Well, other than the walks, the bottom half of this order has not been good for the Baycats tonight. I mean, you had the 4 walks to start off the 4th inning. Williams, Macabrota, Jaco, and Plumpton. But aside from that, none of them have reached base tonight.
Yeah, only 2 hits for the Baycats tonight. One by Ejo in the 3rd inning, one by Phillips last inning. Neither of them amounted to any runs. Plumpton fouls that one off out of play from the right side.
You just sort of feel like it's a matter of time before this offense breaks loose and explodes, even tonight. I mean, it's opening night, and these players are still trying to find their groove, obviously, but we know what this lineup is capable of, and they've had their base runners this evening, but just have not been swinging the bats as well as I'm sure Josh Matlow would have liked tonight.
And they've had over 10 runners stranded throughout this game. And I'm sure that's a column that Josh Matlow doesn't want to see filled up throughout the game.
Yeah, you want to get the offense firing on all cylinders as early in the season as possible, and if you can do it on opening night, even better. We did see the offense struggle at times in the IBL Championship Series against the Welland Jackfish. Mind you, against a top-notch pitching staff, but that was a series where the Baycats' bats really struggled at times. Jackfish kept most of those games low-scoring and never really let that Baycat offense get rolling.
1-2 on Plumpton. That one's lined into the outfield, right center field for a base hit. Just the 3rd hit of the game for the Baycats. Plumpton reaches, and Carson Burns will follow up.
The shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns.
Now Burns 0 for 2 tonight, and now a man aboard, and this is a big inning for the Baycats here in this 6th inning. Try to get back in this ballgame, trailing by 2.
You know, I'm sure that hit meant a lot to Tyler Plumpton, and I alluded to it earlier in the broadcast that the way his season ended last year was so devastating for him. He broke his leg during a game and was out the remainder of the season, and I guess to have that hit would probably mean a lot. That one is a fair ball on the ground right to the first baseman, Castaldo, and that's going to be a double play. Carson Burns can't believe it. That one was right on the line, and an easy 3-6 double play for the Maple Leafs. We head to the 7th inning. Ben Davy to take you through the rest of the ball game. You're watching Baycats baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original two men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. Two small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
'24 Barrie Baycats season opener here at Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township. Ben Davy and Julius Hern with you, along with the rest of our Baycats TV crew. Brian Backland behind us, spinning the dials and keeping everything plugged in for us. And we're excited about another season of Baycats TV for you on our YouTube channel and on Rogers TV as well, of course. Thanks for joining us here tonight on this beautiful Thursday evening. Good number of fans hanging in here right to the end. And the Baycats certainly gave everybody a reason to stay till the end of the ball game last year, and might be another late comeback in the works here in this season opener. Who knows? They got some work to do. Frank Garces back out for his third inning of work. And it's down the line foul. Strike two.
Some of the fans that came out to the park tonight, first 250 got a free home opener t-shirt, which is great to see.
Yeah.
A little bit extra incentive to get out to the ballpark.
Great giveaway. Wear that t-shirt all season long and hopefully right through the playoffs to a championship. Garces with the 0-2, and it's lifted high, shallow, left center field. Ejo sprints over. It's the left fielder, Malik Williams, taking it for the out. Maple Leafs have had two double plays to end Baycat threats in consecutive innings. In the fifth, they had Ricky Phillips at second base and Malik Williams at first when Nolan Macabrota hit into a 4-6-3 double play. And then a 3-6 double play, something that you don't see a whole lot, but off the bat of Carson Burns, after Tyler Plumpton had singled, ended the threat in the fifth. So some good defense by the Leafs tonight after 4 errors proved costly on Sunday afternoon in their season opener against the London Majors. Both these teams are off tomorrow afternoon. You were looking at the schedule there and noticed that the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers play their inaugural game in Brantford tomorrow.
Yeah, and then they have their home opener the next day, Saturday.
A little unfortunate that they're not playing their first game in franchise history at home, but they'll get there on Saturday, and fans in Chatham will get to have their first look at their new IBL franchise, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. There's a strike three. Greg Carrington down two away here in the 7th inning.
Strikeout brought to you by IMP North.
Saturday night, the Baycats will return to Welland for an early season rematch against the Jackfish, the team that defeated them here in last year's IBL Championship Series. It's a 6 p.m. start in Welland on Baycats TV for you on YouTube. And quite a celebration is expected. Of course, the Jackfish, the 2023 champs, and they're going to get their championship rings that night in front of the team that they defeated in 6 games.
You mentioned the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, their home opener on Saturday. That'll be against the Kitchener Panthers, who just had their home opener come to an end against the Hamilton Cardinals, a 5-1 loss to the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's going to be fun watching games at the newly renovated Fergie Jenkins Field in Chatham. A lot of excitement about having baseball back in that pocket of southwestern Ontario. And
should be an electric atmosphere. I'd imagine Fergie himself will be out probably throwing the first pitch to commence their first home game.
Yeah, Barrie will see Chatham here for the first time on June 1st when the Barnstormers will make their first trip to Vintage Throne Stadium. That's a called strike 3, and that's a little more like vintage. Frank Garces in the top of the 7th inning as the Leafs go 3 up, 3 down for the first time tonight. They lead 3-1 through 6.5. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Now pitching for the Maple Leafs, right-hander number 23, Julian Tamachko.
Bottom of the 7th inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. It's brought to you by Psycho Solutions. Full automotive service from headlight to tailpipe.
Well, you know, baseball has returned in Barrie when the fans are clapping and stomping and singing along to Heave Away. That has sort of become the unofficial Baycat fan song here over the last couple of seasons, I'd have to say. No song gets this crowd more fired up than Heave Away. More so even than Take Me Out to the Ball Game, which we do here. It's the 7th inning stretch, of course. But a lot of teams kind of have their second, they're still singing it. Listen. Avery Batlow, who is Josh Batlow's dad, Baycat fan number 1. He gets this crowd going. I don't know what we ever did before he started coming to games, but. And Sandy Joy, one of the ladies of the park, who are the volunteers that work so hard to keep things running smoothly on game day, she was down there dancing with them. Julian Tamachko, the new pitcher for the Maple Leafs. Baycats in the bottom of the 7th, trailing by 2.
Tamachko, a bit of time last year with the Leafs and with the Welland Jackfish, but finished the season with the Leafs, and this year he's already had one appearance in their home opener against the London Majors, a scoreless inning with a strikeout and a walk.
Ejo lifts a high fly ball straight away center field. And it is going to be out of the reach of Ryan DeSantos. Ejo's going to try for three. The throw is cut off. And it's a leadoff triple for Kenise Ejo in the bottom of the 7th inning.
We know with Ejo's speed, he had all the steals last year, but he also had 2 triples last year, and I believe they actually came in consecutive games when he first joined the Baycats. So great to see he's getting his season off to a good start with 2 hits. Had a single or a double earlier in the game, so 2 extra base knocks, and Adam Odd just another power bat looking to drive him in.
Well, it won't be an error, but clearly a misplayed ball by Leafs center fielder Ryan DeSantos, who got all twisted up, was moving the wrong way. He was ranging to his right and then had to get back to his left, and that ball fell well out of his reach. Wasn't even close.
And you know, we saw Malik Williams get spun around by a ball earlier in the game in left field, and that example by DeSantos was much more egregious. It seemed like the ball was, you know, at least 20 feet away from him.
Yeah, and that ball held up there so long, and that's why I say that. He certainly should have had a much better read on it than he did, but by the time he could track it, he just couldn't get back into place. That one down the line foul.
I will say, though, he recovered well, because if that ball bounced any further away, you might have been seeing an inside the park home run.
Guarantee you that was running through Ejo's mind as he rounded second, and third base coach Andrew White put up the stop sign, but no need to take any unnecessary chances when you're leading off the inning. That was as easy a triple as Kenise Ejo could possibly get. And here's Adam Odd. 1 on, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. Odd represents the tying run. And he lifts this one to left field. And going back and reaching up for it is Charlie Towers. No throw in as Ejo tags up and scores. It's a 3-2 game.
The right fielder, number 2, Rick Phillips.
Well, a situation where you just need to get that base runner in. On a night when the Baycats have stranded so many base runners.
It looked like Towers had a hard time even making that catch. He almost got spun around himself out there in the outfield when he was backtracking, but he ended up making a nice over-the-shoulder high catch.
Well, not really a windy night. There is a breeze from left to right now. Not sure if that's been causing the outfielders any problems, but we've certainly had windier nights here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You wouldn't think that the wind is going to be a problem. That ball had more carry to it than Charlie Towers expected. So Adam Odd does his job, getting that runner in, making this a 1-run game. Ricky Phillips now had his first hit as a Baycat to lead off the 5th inning. Pitch goes pitch, misses. 3-1 count now for Ricky Phillips. Pitch incoming, swing and a miss. Big cut by Phillips, couldn't connect. 3-2.
Tomachko really struggled last year during his time with the Maple Leafs in terms of walks. He had 17 in just 8 2/3 innings as he disengages there for the first time.
Ryan Rio, the veteran DH on deck here. 1 out in the inning. Here's the pitch from Tomachko. And that one misses. Ball 4. Base runner for the Baycats now, as the go-ahead run will come to the plate. Baycats have not led in this game. Trailed 1-0 going into the bottom of the 4th. We're able to tie the game thanks to 4 consecutive walks by the Maple Leaf bullpen. And that 1-1 score held until the 5th when the Leafs got 2 off Frank Garces, who came on in relief of Juan Benitez. Garces, the pitcher of record at this juncture of the game, and now Barrie with a run in the bottom of the 7th to set the table here for Ryan Rio. 1 out. Gets the first pitch over for a called strike.
This is a perfect situation for Rio against a right-handed pitcher with a chance tie it up or even take the lead with one swing.
Runner goes, and Rio protecting the plate, fouled it back to the screen. And Phillips will retreat to first. First steal attempt that we've seen from Ricky Phillips in a Baycat uniform, and got a pretty good jump on that ball from Tomachko. He was not holding him on at all.
Well, he did have a steal in the exhibition game, and he's definitely got some speed, and that also translates defensively for him.
Rio taking it. It's a called strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Big strikeout for Julian Tomachko.
Fielder number 29, Malik Williams.
Malik Williams has reached base twice tonight, both walks, and scored a run. Big
Williams was a victim of that inning-ending double play by Macabrota in the 5th.
That one sails high, and it's 1-1. Williams only 9 games for the Baycats last season, but he hit .567. Runner goes. Pitches a called strike. The throw bounces up. And a nice play by the second baseman diving over. Back that one up just to make sure that Phillips couldn't get any further.
Well, that was Jose Vinicio out there backing up behind second base, and if that dive never happened, if he wasn't able to come up with that ball, you could probably guess that Ricky Phillips would be at third base right now.
So the tying run in scoring position. Pitch of the game coming up here. 1-2, 2 out. Pitch to Williams, bounces up to the plate. Mara looking around, it's at the backstop, and up another 90 feet goes Ricky Phillips. So a walk, a stolen base, and a wild pitch. And the Baycats have the tying run 90 feet away. Mound visit here as the shortstop Jose Vinicio wants to talk to reliever Julian Tomachko. That counts as a mound visit. Chubave indicating to the official scorer behind home plate. 2-2 pitch on the way. And it's fouled off to the right side. I wonder what Vinicio would be saying to him in that situation. 2 outs in the inning.
I'm not too sure about that one because
must have been important to use up a mound visit.
Yeah. Unless he might have seen something in a swing from Williams.
Right back through the middle. Second baseman up with it. Mara, the throw, bounces up to the first baseman, but scooping it up is Castaldo for the final out of the inning. So the Baycats score 1, and that is it. They trail by a run after 7 here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Top of the 8th inning, Baycat Frank Garces back out to work to face the Toronto Maple Leafs, trailing by a run.
Designated hitter number 28, Justin McGee.
Justin McGee, who came on, Justice McGee, who came on to pinch hit for Jamie Cabral, the DH, in the number 9 spot. 0 for 1 today. Frank Garces in a bit of an unfamiliar role here. A relief appearance for Juan Benitez. Came on after 4 innings for Benitez tonight. I wonder if it just kind of feels different, too, as a starter. You know, I mentioned this is Frank Garces' first IBL relief appearance, but here you are in the 8th inning, and your arm still feels great. Lots left in the tank.
Well, it's probably different for Garces in the fact that when he was in the major leagues, he was a reliever. But after that, he was getting a lot of time as a starter, even, you know, a long time ago when he started his IBL career, and even in the minors for a good period of time.
Yeah, I think he was used exclusively as a reliever by the San Diego Padres, but that was 10 years ago now.
And even in Japan professionally, he was used as a starter.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. I mean, you rarely see Frank Garces' arm get tired in the late innings of a ball game, whether he's starting or not. But you know, usually you're gutting out those final couple of innings if you're a starting pitcher and things are going well and you got a chance to go the distance. But here he is in the 8th, and you know, he's.
You know, and that's a good strategy because you see, you know, a lot of great pitchers who tend to go deep in ball games. They'll save that extra energy for late in the ball game when they need it.
Off speed to start it off, Jose Vinicio, and it's a called strike. Vinicio 1 for 4 today. Here's the pitch. Fouled it off.
That was it on the hands of Vinicio. He had a hard time fighting that one off.
Garces maybe trying to back him off the plate just a little bit. Vinicio with those feet open, wide open stance. Pitch from Garces. Swing and a miss. Great pitch sequence by Frank Garces. Jamming Vinicio in on the hands and then painting the outside corner. And Vinicio caught lunging.
It doesn't get better than that. Jose Vinicio, all-star last season with the Maple Leafs second team in the IBL, and don't fool him that often.
That really was a textbook strikeout. If you're watching this on YouTube, back it up 45 seconds to a minute and watch those 3 pitches again, because that was as perfectly done as you can possibly throw 3 pitches.
Strikeout was brought to you by IMP North.
Thanks for catching those tonight, by the way. I've missed a few. Jordan Castaldo now. Swing and a miss. Off speed again. Garces, you see him with the quick delivery, and then he slows it right down. Castaldo ahead of that one. 0-2 now.
It's brutal when you see him have a quick delivery like he does and throw an off-speed pitch.
And Castaldo lifts it to center field. Ejo, plenty of time, makes the catch. Frank Garces was 2/3 of the way to the dugout before Ejo caught that ball. He knew he had it in his back pocket all the way. 3 up, 3 down go the Leafs in the 8th. Baycats 6 outs to work with. They trail by a run. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Predicting record heat this summer.
You might not know the best time to get a new air conditioner, but we do. Right now, save 20% with the Reliance Early Bird Sale.
Call on Reliance.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium, and it's brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Number 20, Nolan Mackey, Verona.
And a new pitcher on for Rob Butler's Toronto Maple Leafs. It'll be Adam Mara, the left-hander. He will be the 5th pitcher of the night for Toronto. After the Leafs used 6 pitchers in Sunday afternoon's game, 5 pitchers and counting so far tonight. So Rob Butler loves to use his bullpen, and he's getting everybody some work here.
And Mara was one of those pitchers he used Sunday in their home opener against the Majors. 1 1/3 innings against London with a strikeout, a walk, and 2 hits allowed.
Here is first baseman Nolan Macabroda, making his IBL debut here today. And the first pitch from Mara hits him right in the top half of the leg.
Third baseman number 55.
Certainly not what Mara wanted to do. 1 pitch and the tying run is aboard. Hayden Jaco now represents the go-ahead run. Adam Mara was on the mound last year, 2023 home opener, when Ryan Rio drove home Starlin Rodriguez in the bottom of the 9th inning for a Baycat walk-off win. Well, you never know. History might repeat itself here tonight. Rio probably due for at least one more at-bat here tonight.
Jaco showed bunt there again. He did that earlier in the game, and you can tell this time Solazzo at third was expecting. He was already playing in on the grass.
Another close score between these two teams. Toronto and Barrie, Highway 400 rivals. Jaco bunts. It's picked up by the catcher. The throw, not in time. A great effort by Justin Mara after he initially bobbled it, regained control of the baseball, got the throw down. It was a low throw and it was scooped by Castaldo, but not in time to beat Hayden Jaco.
That was an incredible bunt, I will say. That's the perfect spot, not too far down the line. Got to stop it on the grass, and Mara really had to kind of slow up immediately to be able to get a handle on that ball, and he wasn't able to throw it standing up and allow Jaco to get over the first safely.
Well, the only thing that wasn't perfect about that bunt is Jaco looked at it. Once he made contact, you saw him look back, and now showing bunts again. Here is Tyler Plumpton thinking about advancing those runners. On a close play like that, you just want to put your head down and go. But fortunately for Jaco, his speed got him down there.
I think because it was so high up, because it took that massive bounce off the dirt in front of the plate, he just wanted to avoid it, not get in the way of it.
Yeah, he had to stay out of the way. That was the other tricky thing. That ball easily could have hit him or bounced foul. So 2 on, nobody out. Baycats have had their opportunities here tonight, have only converted twice, once on a bases-loaded walk. Plumpton pulls the bat back. Plumpton, a very smart hitter. Wouldn't put it past him to draw the infield in and then try to slap one by them. 3-0, he's taking all the way, and it's a strike. Get me over pitch from Adam Mara, and it's 3-1.
Plumpton, not a guy you expect to see bunt
showing bunt again. And he fouls it off, and the count is full.
Now, I'm sure you won't expect to see him bunt now with a full count.
Typically not. Have seen it before, but with 2 strikes, that's a very dangerous situation, a 1-run game.
And you see the infielders on the corners, Castaldo and Salazzo playing further back on the infield.
He does show bunt, and he pops it up. It's an easy catch for Justin Mara. Well, again, there you go. It's a high-risk situation. If it works, it looks great.
Number 3, rather.
And that ball would have been strike 3 whether it was caught or not, being in foul territory. So 1 out in the inning, and the number 9 hitter Carson Burns now. Called strike.
Well, now that I think about it, you might have seen a pinch runner come in for Plumpton. Should have been able to reach, a bunt there or even get on base with a walk. Never know in the late innings.
We've seen more bunt attempts by the Baycats tonight than I think we probably saw all of last season. I mean, a real kind of small ball approach to tonight's game, and that sort of unfolded as this game has gone on. Low scoring. Good pitching tonight by Sam Green and Juan Benitez to start things off. 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Burns slow to leave home plate. 2 strikeouts for Carson Burns tonight. He's 0 for 4.
Well, it's the second straight at bat we've seen Carson Burns in kind of disbelief in the result of his plate appearance. We saw him in the 6th inning. He grounded it on a 3-6 double play, and that was the first pitch of that at bat. He hit the ball so hard down the first baseline, he just couldn't believe that Castaldo was able to come up with it.
Canisijo has been firing on all cylinders tonight, and he hits this one a long way. Left center field. Towers back, and it is over his head and gone. A 3-run homer for Canisijo. A double, a triple, and a 3-run bomb to left center field, and the Baycats have their first lead of the night.
Not very often you see a player possibly finish a game a single away from the cycle. That's exactly what we've seen from Canisijo, and got really good contact on that pitch from Mara, and just enough height it looked like to get over that left center field fence, one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. The Baycats a huge lead now. 5-3.
Yeah, really their first big clutch hit of the night. They needed that with 2 on in this bottom of the 8th inning. Turning a 1-run deficit into a 2-run lead.
Not to mention there's 2 outs in this inning, so clutch in that regard as well.
Saw a pitch he liked, and he gave it a ride. Odd hits that weakly over the mound. Going to be a tough play. Benicio off balance throw, and it pulls Castaldo off the bag. And the inning will continue.
That's going to be an infield hit for Odd. Looked like as soon as it got off behind the mound, behind Adam Mara, Benicio was going to have a hard time beating the speed of Odd, and that's exactly what happened. Odd with great hustle down the first baseline, he beats it out, no problem.
Ricky Phillips has reached base 3 times tonight. Hits a roller to second. Dan Mara to Jordan Castaldo for the 3rd out of the inning. But Canisijo, the hero in this one so far tonight, with a 3-run homer to put the Baycats on top 5-3. And now we'll go to the top of the 9th inning with the Baycats 3 outs away from winning it on opening night. 5-3 Barrie. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Top of the ninth inning, Baycats, the chance to close it out. Frank Garces on the mound. It's brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Baycats looking for their third consecutive opening day win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2022, 2023, and now here in 2024. They have a 5-3 lead here in the top of the ninth inning. The previous two opening day wins were in walk-off fashion. That won't be the case here tonight if Frank Garces can get 3 outs. But a leadoff base hit to right field to start off this top of the ninth inning. Mara aboard, and now John Salazzo will come to the plate.
Third baseman number 17, Jonathan Salazzo.
Garces had retired 7 in a row before that hit by Mara, including an absolutely brilliant 8th inning. Back-to-back strikeouts, McGee and Vinicio, before drawing a fly ball off the bat of Jordan Castaldo to end the 8th. First pitch, and it's high. So Salazzo represents the tying run, and he can do it with one swing of the bat. Left-handed power hitter, and he's ahead in the count, 2-0. The lefty winds and deals, and he's behind. 3 balls, no strikes. Boy, it just seems to be all or nothing with Frank Garces. A masterful top of the 8th inning, and now here in the 9th, Frank seems to be struggling a little. Behind in the count, 3-0 to John Salazzo. The runner on and nobody out. Swing and a miss. Comes right back at him with a fastball.
That's what you expect from Frank Garces. Blows the heat right by Salazzo there when he's up against it in the count.
3-1. High, ball 4. Tying run is on. Right-hander warming up in the Baycat bullpen.
And we saw Justin Mara get that hit to lead off the inning, and I don't want to forget before we finish up the broadcast that with 2 hits tonight, Dan Mara got 400th career hit in the IBL.
Quite a milestone. An accomplished career. Plenty more to come, I'm sure. A bunt. Garces picks it up, has no play. Everybody safe. That ball sort of popped out of Garces's glove. He recovered, but just ran out of time.
Yeah, he couldn't come up with it cleanly, and I doubt with the speed there of Dos Santos that he was even going to have a play to begin with.
Here comes Josh Matlow. Let's see if he takes the baseball from his veteran left-handed pitcher.
I believe that's Andrew White making the mound visit. Brad Grieveson is up in the Baycats bullpen. Should Garces not be able to get out of this one?
Did Andrew White shave his head?
I believe so.
Well, that's what messed me up. I thought that was a very thin Josh Matlow walking out to the mound. I was like, I thought Andrew White had hair. So no pitching change, but a mound visit.
I think that's just the second of the game for the Baycats.
See, he can be a Josh Matlow imposter now if he keeps that back of his head clean shaven. Wow, high drama here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Bases loaded, top of the 9th inning. Frank Garces, first offering, gets the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, the corners are playing in. The Baycats infield, they're going to cut that run down at home plate if they have the opportunity on a ground ball.
High 1-1. Well, they have to be ready for the double play situation as well. Would you concede a run for 2 outs in this situation? Probably.
Well, I think they would try to cut the run down at home first if they can.
Jaco in on the grass. This one lifted to center field. Ejo, couple steps to his left. Makes the catch. Runner tags. This is Mara. Throw into third. Everybody is safe. The out is recorded. Toronto makes it 5-4. So a sac fly off the bat of Dan Mara. Justin Mara scores.
Greg Carrington.
Salazzo to third. Dos Santos stays at first. So now the infield can play double play depth. 5-4 game. Try to get the double play and end it here.
Brad Grieveson's still warming in the Baycats bullpen.
Lefty-lefty matchup. It's a called strike to Greg Carrington.
Carrington's been up twice against Garces in this game. He walked in the 5th and struck out in the 7th.
Tying run at third is John Salazzo. 5-4 Baycats. Pitch. Foul back to the screen. 0-2. Middle infield for the Baycats. Carson Burns at short. Adam Ott at second. They'll be ready for anything hit their way. Garces would love a strikeout here to take a little pressure off the defense. 1 out. Count 0-2. Garces deals. Called strike 3. And none bigger than that one. Brought to you by IMP North. And Charlie Towers now represents the final bullet for the Maple Leafs here in this 9th inning.
No better spot to get a strikeout than right there for Frank Garces. Now you give your defense a little bit of a extra breathing room, only needing 1 more out to close this one out.
Runner goes. And no play. Plumpton wisely checks the runner at third, does not throw down. Situation like that, you don't want to risk that tying run coming home. So an extra 90 feet for Ryan Dos Santos. He would be the go-ahead run. That's an important base runner for Toronto. Towers trying to knock in one or both here. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Garces to Towers. Swing and a miss. 2-1. A good, loyal contingent of Baycat fans sticking around to the end here tonight. 2-1 pitch. Up high in the zone, and the count is 3-1. Towers gets aboard. It's the number 9 hitter, Justice McGee, behind him. Frank will be careful here on 3-1. Here it comes. On the ground, foul. A defensive swing by Towers to keep the at-bat. 3-2.
Towers has only reached once, and that was an error in the 5th inning. And the only other time he's faced Garces tonight was a strikeout, and that one ended the 7th.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Baycats up 5-4. The pitch from Garces. Ball 4. It's a walk, and the inning continues. And the number 9 hitter comes to the plate.
That was such a close call, just low off the plate for Garces, and now all the pressure, but for the Baycats defense, the play could be anywhere with the bases loaded here.
First offering is low to Justice McGee. Nowhere to put him. Tying run 90 feet away.
McGee, no success against Garces tonight. 2 strikeouts both times he's been up.
Swing and a miss. Blew him by with a fastball. 1-1. Frank Garces will get the win if he can finish this off here tonight. In a relief appearance for starter Juan Benitez. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And again, the Leafs are down to their final strike. One, two. Swung on and missed. That's a Barrie Baycat winner.
For Toronto in the ninth, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on. Final score.
Well, it took a come-from-behind effort by the Baycats tonight, but make it 3 consecutive home opener wins against the Toronto Maple Leafs here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
And for Frank Garces, his first career IBL relief appearance, a little bit shaky in some of the innings, especially in that ninth, but the strikeouts were his go-to move, and it came in clutch in those last couple outs in the ninth and throughout his appearance over 5 innings. And just like maybe Josh Matlow expected, Frank Garces, maybe the player of the game in this one.
Clutch pitching by Baycat left-hander Frank Garces, and an explosive night from center fielder Kenny Sejo, who hits a 3-run homer to put the Baycats on top for the first time tonight in the 8th inning. And went 1 hit away from hitting the cycle. So the Baycats 5-4 winners tonight of the 2024 home opener over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Our next broadcast is Saturday here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Junior Baycat Day. Come on out to the ballpark and join us here in Springwater. Julius Hern and the rest of our Baycats TV crew, I'm Ben Davy. Good night from the ballpark in Midhurst.